Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to more WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball. My name is Charlie Brigham, alongside me, Andy Laidlaw, and today we got a beautiful day as we enter Game 3 of this weekend series between the number 23 ranked nationally Michigan Wolverines and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Sun shining, a little bit of breeze, and a few clouds in the sky, but much better weather than yesterday as we saw that game and both softball games right across the way at Alumni Field just get battered by rain constantly. Michigan dropped the game yesterday 2-4 to Rutgers and split the series so far. Michigan took game one back on Friday. They won 6-4 there. So the rubber match on this wonderful Sunday morning. How you doing today, Andy?
Good, man. It's good to be back here, Charlie. It's the first time calling a baseball game in a while here. Big game, like you said, rubber match. 23rd ranked team in the country here. Jacob Denner on the bump today for the Wolverines. 3-0 with a 3.77 ERA. Little high 1.42 WHIP. He's working on that, but 3-0. His team's playing good baseball right now. They've had to replace a lot of guys over the last 2 years, and right back in is Eric Bakich in this Michigan baseball team.
We are set to go here. As you said, Denner on the bump. Up first for the Scarlet Knights is Ryan Lasko. First pitch on the way. This one, fastball low in the dirt. Lasko with 302 hitter on the year.
They got a little lefty-righty matchup here. Jacob Denner not exactly going to blow away guys with his speed. But he's got good off-speed stuff and can spot his fastball.
The 1-0 is driven deep to left field, but way foul.
Yeah, that was an absolute rip there by Lasko. I think that ball was fair. It might have gone off that brick wall in left field there.
Wind blowing out towards left field, so righties are going to have a little bit more power to their pulling side today.
Yeah, Lasko, not a guy shy of power. 8 home runs in the season.
Lasko dribbles this one to second base on the throw. Did he get him? Yes, he did. Great play by the second baseman, Riley Bertram, on the run. Fielded it backhand, threw across his body. Great play.
Yeah, very nice there by Riley Bertram. A guy with a lot of experience. People forget Riley Bertram had to start majority of the NCAA tournament, the Super Regionals, and the College World Series back in 2 years ago. Riley Bertram, guy with a lot of experience. Just a really, really solid fundamental second baseman there. Great play coming into his offhand and nicely delivered to first base.
First pitch to Scheikhofer is low and outside. Denner fortunate to get through that first leadoff batter. Great way to get some momentum going. Infield playing a little deep. Is pitch number 2 on the way. This one swung on and missed. Great off-speed pitch there by Denner.
Yeah, Denner coming with 2 off-speed pitches right back to back. Both of them low and away, so you might want to go up and in here. Throw the cheese here, 1-1 count. Change that eye level.
The wind up. This one, again, low and outside. Skips up into the glove of Mazer behind the plate.
Yeah, 3 straight breaking balls here for Jacob Denner. Curious, 2-1 in the count. You're behind. Got to spot a fastball here. Can't leave it over the plate. Go low and in, high and in.
The 2-1 from Denner. Swung on and chop foul to the right side in front of the Rutgers dugout. So at bat will continue. Count's going to go 22. Uniform matchup today, pretty interesting. Rutgers in a very light gray, almost white, and Michigan in their home whites.
Gotta love the cream, the cream whites for the Wolverines. Just a classic look.
2-2. This one swung on and hit foul off the building to our left, barely missing a car.
Right off of Yost Arena.
Almost had to ask Scheikhofer for a new windshield there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of turnover for the Michigan Wolverines this year, with Chris Fetter leaving to go to the Detroit Tigers and graduating catcher Joe Donovan.
2-2 swung on and missed. Great pitch by Denner. Gave him the high cheese. And that's going to sit down Scheikhofer. 2 up and 2 down for Rutgers.
Yeah, that was set up just very, very well. Two breaking balls, start off the at-bat, come with a low and in fastball, get a foul away. Breaking another breaking ball, fouls away, then goes to the high and in fastball. That's changing eye level, changing speeds. Really, really well done by Jacob Denner.
DeGiorgio stepping to the plate now. Danny DeGiorgio, a 278 hitter on the season in that 3-hole. Going to look to get something going here as he watches pitch number 1 go by for a called strike on the outer half of the plate.
Yeah, solid command so far here for Denner. He's not missing his fastball much.
Pitch number 2 right down the belt.
Like I said, he's never going to blow you away with the stuff. He's kind of one of those cheeky left-handed pitchers, 88 miles per hour, spotting corners, changing dudes with his off-speed. None of his pitches are going to look flat. There's going to have movement to all of them. so far looking really solid. 2 straight fastballs painting the corners.
The 0-2 on the way from Denner. Hit right back into the screen, so we're going to do that one again. Mazer so far looked pretty good behind the plate. Doing a nice job setting himself up and setting his team up as well.
Yeah, big shoes to fill with Mazer with replacing Joe Donovan. Just one of the most steady catchers you could possibly get. Had great power at the plate, but that guy, Joe Donovan, knew what he was doing behind the plate, and Mazer's really stepped up to the role well.
The 0-2 looked like it bounced, but it does in fact hit him in the leg, so we're going to see the first base runner of this one, Danny DiGiorgio, going to head on down to first base. That's one you don't like to see get away from Jacob Denner. Had the 0-2 count, was in complete control of that at bat.
Yeah, absolutely, Charlie. You hit it right on the nose right there. 0-2 count. 0-2 count, obviously you never want to give the hitter anything he can drive. But, man, you got to spot your pitches at least close enough to where the batter is going to deceive that you're throwing a strike and just bounces before the plate and then hits the guy. It's tough.
Fresh count. And the first time in the stretch for Denner today. First pitch high and outside, ball 1. When you talk about power, you look at a guy like Brito. 9 home runs on the year, 28 RBIs, and 30 hits.
Just as impressive. Not just power, hitting .294 on the season. Just an all-around hitter right now.
Lefty-righty matchup, the 1-0. Just missing. Count's going to go 2-0. Hitters count on the way for Brito. Brito playing third base in this one on the defensive end for Rutgers.
Yeah, 1-0 breaking ball there from Denner. Just missed outside. Trying to get that backdoor curveball. Just missed outside. Curious to see what he does here, 2-0.
Hitters count on the way to Brito. This one right down Broadway, swung on and missed. Great pitch there from Denner.
Charlie, I think Brito wanted to put that one in the softball field. That was pitched right down the plate, and he was trying to drive that ball. Denner blew it right by him, though.
Yeah, Brito hitting .294, a .608 slugging percentage. You know he's going for extra bases. That one had potential. Denner back to the plate. This one called strike on the inside corner, so we're back even. Great job by Denner fighting his way back into this one.
Yeah, just a beautiful spot there, right in the low and inside corner. Again, not going to blow you away with his speed, 86.5 miles per hour. Nothing exceptional, but man, you can spot your fastball like that at any level. That's just so tough to hit.
Michigan has the shift on. Bertram situated on the shortstop side of second base, and strike 3 got him looking.
Yeah, a little change up there, right? Beautiful way to switch speeds, switch eye levels, do fastball low and away, fastball low and in, and then delivers a changeup low and in. I think, I think Teller thought it was gonna, break through the zone there and didn't have as much action on it. Really, really nice pitcher by Denner, spotting right in the corner. Strike 3 looking. Gotta love it.
Besides the one mishap with the hit by pitch, Denner looked pretty flawless through inning number 1, and that's going to bring us to the bottom half of the inning. Rutgers goes scoreless in the top. The order for Michigan is going to be Rogers, Malfetta, Elliott, Mazer, Sems, Flores, Burton, Obertop in the 8, and rounding out the lineup will be Bertram.
It's funny when you look at the landscape of the Michigan baseball roster, especially looking at the lineup. A lot of the guys coming back this year that have had experience, either have been on the College World Series team or on a team last year that was, number 1 in the country at one point. You look at a lot of the returners. Riley Bertram, super solid, like I said, got a lot of experience, only hitting .225 this year. Ted Burton last year had a big role at third base. He's hitting .308. That's pretty solid. Danny Zimmerman, .231 rolled last year. Christian Bolick, starting left fielder during the College World Series, .205. The guys who have made the impact this year for the Wolverines have been the newcomers. Ben Sims, Clark Elliott, Malfetta. Jimmy Obertop had a role last year too. He was hitting bombs. I'll never forget that home run left center he hit on Vanderbilt last year. But Obertop obviously delivering .274 with 8 home runs. Tito Flores, a young kid, sophomore this year. It's the new guys coming in that are making that sort of difference, that big leap for the Wolverines, that are keeping them in contention for the Big Ten, keeping them in the rankings of the entire college baseball season. Eric Backage said it best. He said, us here at Michigan, we never say we rise to the occasion. We sink to the level of their training. And the new guys this year, they're sinking to the level of their training very well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good mix of returners and new talent, as you said. And we are set to go here. Jordan Rogers stepping to the plate in the leadoff hole for the Michigan Wolverines. On the mound, Brent Teller, a 1-2 record on the year, a 4.4 ERA. As he goes right into the windup, not wasting any time. First pitch fastball just misses inside, clocking in at 93 and a quarter. Decent velocity up there on the bump for Teller. A little bit more than we saw at Denner on Michigan's side. The 1-0. This one swung on and chopped foul towards the Michigan dugout and grabbed right away. Count will even out 1-1.
Yeah, Teller, one of those guys where, a lot of these short right-handed pitchers aren't exactly the most marketable guys for the majors, but they don't have that deceptiveness. They usually don't have much movement, but they sure do bring the heat.
1-1 off speed is a little high in the zone. Curveball broke across his face, but up near the chin and the letters of Rogers, so that one's not going to count. 2-1 on the way.
Yeah, sure seemed to cross just a little too high there.
Goes back to the curveball. This one drops down in for a called strike. That one hits its spot a little bit lower. Malfetta in the on-deck circle. Rogers, a sophomore, looking to help his team early in his career with the Wolverines. The 2-2 swung on and hit down the line and just tailing foul past first base.
Yeah, a couple off-speed right in a row here for Teller. Both of them are low and away. Curious to see if Teller likes to, rise the level of this next pitch. Maybe fastball high and in. Like I said, man, these short right-handed guys usually don't market as well for the draft. But, man, what they don't bring with break, they sure bring with velocity.
22 and swung on and launched backwards towards the track and into the parking lot. So, again, we're going to redo that one. Rogers not too big of a guy himself. 5'8", 175 is what he's listed. The redshirt sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. He got righty on righty here in at-bat number 1. Malfetta also a righty in the on-deck circle, so we're going to see 2 of those in a row. Infield playing pretty much straight up as the 2-2 is delivered. Curveball almost hits Rogers in the head. Quick ducks out of the way.
Yeah, if you're Rogers there, man, you got to eat that bad boy. Rogers is one of the quickest guys in the team. Shocker, shocker. Eric Bakich like to run the bases. Rogers 5 stolen bases here on 8 attempts. That's what the Wolverines do. They've done it for the last 5-6 years with Bakich. They love to run the bases. So if Rogers can get on here, the leadoff guy, that's a huge advantage right there in that kind of pitch. You might just want to take that one. Especially a breaking ball. It's not going to hurt much.
Full count, no outs to Rogers. This one goes high again and off the glove. Looks like that one is ball 3. The scoreboard a little ahead of us here.
I think they called foul ball. I think it clicked off of Rogers' bat.
Well, either way, the count stays 3-2, and we're going to go one more time. Rogers, not much power, only 1 home run on the season, but the left fielder's slight way back at the warning track with that wind blowing out. That one's going to be ball 4, well high, so Rogers puts his speed on first base, and Michigan in a position to potentially score some runs here with Christian Malfetta stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, Teller just releasing just a little too early. The last 4 pitches of that at-bat all released high. 2 fastballs high and those 2 breaking balls that released over Rogers' bat. You got to finish through that windup here. And he 4 straight pitches, leaving them high. Honestly, that's one spot you don't want to miss in baseball. You leave pitches high, especially breaking balls. These D1 athletes, especially this Michigan baseball team, they can knock them out of the park. Got to finish through your pitches.
Fresh count to Christian Malfetta. Rogers over there on first base. This first pitch breaking ball rides inside, ball 1. Malfetta, as you said before, a 5th-year grad transfer from Stanford, was a part of a very good Stanford team for most of his career, having an impact here with the Wolverines, hitting .302, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs on the season. An impressive campaign at the plate thus far. Rogers faked like he was going to go, and pitch number 2 is called strike 1 in the outside corner. Fastball coming in at 93.
Yeah, like I said, Eric Bakich is not shy to run the bases at all here, and Jake Rogers at first base give the Wolverines such a big advantage. Like I said, 5 steals this year on 8 attempts. Everybody 1 through 9 is going to run the bases.
As they try to get him over there at first base, Brent Teller throws over for the first time today. Rogers back with plenty of time.
Yeah, Rogers giving the Wolverines a little bit of a different look at the leadoff spot in comparison to last year. Jordan Wogu looked like a linebacker batting leadoff for the Wolverines last year. And Rogers, like you said, coming in at 5'8", but still both those guys, they have a similar quality. They can absolute fly.
Attempt over at first base again. Rogers back again with plenty of time. Sweeney applies the tag, but
yeah, obviously a lot to think about with Jake Rogers over there at first base. If you are Teller on the bump here, you can't forget. You got an absolute slugger at the plate right now, batting .302 with 4 home runs.
2 triples on the year as well for Malfetta. 1-1 is chopped towards third base and keeps in foul territory. Throw over to second base to get the lead runner, but drops it at second base. Welsh couldn't handle it at second base. Looked like a good throw, but the speed of Rogers putting pressure on the Rutgers defense. So that one's going to go down as an E4 most likely. And both runners reach safely. So with 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position, and no outs, Clark Elliott's going to step to the plate.
Yeah, Brito there, just, it's one of those plays. You have a really quick runner at first base. You get a really high chopper like that, you think you got to get rid of it very, very quickly. Fortunately for Rutgers, Rogers was faking like he was going to second, so it kind of stopped his momentum on his leadoff. And, obviously over there, Brito had to rush that throw over the second base, kind of was sailed a little low. Michigan's got first and second here.
2 runners on for Clark Elliott as he hits one up the middle into the chest of the shortstop, and they can't turn the double play. They flip it to second base, and Rutgers, another error. That one most likely going to go down as an E4 as well. Great play by DiGiorgio to stop it with his chest and flip it up from the ground, but the shortstop, Welsh, again, can't handle it off his glove.
Another really weird play, though. DiGiorgio just kind of let that ball play him. Obviously a shortstop there, you want to turn a double play. You want to field into it. He kind of let it field back to it and kind of caught it with his chest. And when he was doing that flip, he was on his knee. So he topped that flip, or he released that flip up just a little too high. Again, man, yeah, it's E6 here, E from the third baseman, air from the shortstop. Not ideal if you're getting 2 ground balls.
Fresh count to Griffin Mazer, hits it towards third base. They're going to make the play at the plate. First pitch swung on, and first out we see for Michigan, but that's still going to be bases loaded as Mazer reaches on a fielder's choice. 1 out for Benjamin Sems as he takes his spot in that left-handed batter's box now.
Yeah, Ben Sems, the guy I was really intrigued to watch this year. He had to replace Jack Blomgren, was one of the most solid, steady shortstops that you saw in all of college baseball last year. And when you go to replace a guy like that, it can be pretty big shoes to fill. And Ben Sems has done an absolute exceptional job. At 340 this year, has played that role so nicely.
First pitch curveball to Sems, swung on and missed, came up empty, took a big cut. Sems, as you said, hitting 340 this year, hitting 571 with the bases loaded. So,
hey,
great spot to be in if you're Michigan.
Opportunity right here, man. Can't roll over another ground ball. 3 consecutive ground balls for the Wolverines.
Pitch number 2, low and in the dirt. Nice block back there by Ceruto to keep it from rolling to the backstop. Malfetta on third, Elliott on second, and Griffin Mazer on first base after reaching on that fielder's choice. Bases juiced for Benjamin Sems here as Teller settles back in. The leg kick, the pitch, this one again. Big swing from Sems, but comes up empty.
Yeah, nice little change up there from Teller. Obviously these guys, these Wolverines, know they got to sit on that fastball, 94 miles per hour. You got to get on top of it quickly. So when you can break off that nice little, downward action change up with that breaking ball, keep these guys honest. It's tough to hit.
1-2 to Sems, again gets him. 3 straight pitches. And Sems sat back to the dugout. So 2 outs, and it's kind of desperation time for Michigan. You don't want to leave runners on, especially all 3 outs coming with bases loaded.
Well, and also, too, when the team you're playing against, the defense gives you 2 free bases, gives you 2 free at-bats, 2 errors. You got to make it worth it. You got to make them pay. And, like you said, bases loaded, 2 outs now. 2 straight at-bats with the bases loaded they've done nothing with.
First pitch to Tito Flores is hit in the gap towards right field, and plenty of time to get over there and catch that one is Scheikhofer. So Michigan gets away with 2, gets basically free 2 bases, and then Rutgers shuts them down with bases loaded. We're going to head to the top of 2. Score still tied 0-0. You are listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of those at-bats, the last 3 at-bats that the Wolverines put up. First pitch swinging on the first out. Second out, just 2 breaking balls right in the dirt. I mean, they were good pitches by Teller, but 2 breaking balls swinging that in the dirt, and then Tito pops up to right field there on the first pitch. You get the bases loaded. You got an opportunity to drive in some runs. You got 2 ducks in the pond. You got to be selective with your at-bats. You got to look for that pitch that you can drive. And first pitch swing on 2 of those at-bats, and then really, really poor discipline on that second out there for the Wolverines. You got to have a little more better plate discipline with these big opportunities coming up.
Yeah, Sims, you could see he was putting a lot of weight on that back foot, just waiting for that fastball. He wanted to drive it, wanted that big play. But the changeup and the off-speed stuff got him. Waved at 3 curveballs, so
yeah,
we're going to head top 2.
Mazer with that ground ball, first pitch swing in the third base. Could have been flipped to a 6-2-1 or 6-2-3 double play. Catcher didn't try to throw it over to first. And then, Sims had like you just said, Sims had a rough at bat there, looking out in front of that fastball. Really nice breaking balls there and changed it from Teller. And then Tito pops up to right.
Speaking of defensive errors, as we explained that, Michigan reaches safely on second base over at Alumni Field on an error by the Northwestern defense. Michigan looking to take Game 3 of that 4-game set. Michigan currently leading 2-1 after winning both games of the doubleheader yesterday.
I've always said this, Charlie. The best view on the Michigan Wolverines campus is in the press box of Ray Fisher.
Fresh count to Neister. He's going to ride right inside. Nice curveball coming from the lefty Denner. Neister in the DH spot today, hitting .313 as pitch number 2 goes and skips up into the glove of Mazer.
I mean, you can't beat this. You got Alumni Field right there. You got Chrysler right past center field. The big house past right center with the block M in right field. I mean, you got all of it here.
You can't get much better than
distance. This. You got it all here.
2-0 hitters count to Neister. This one swung on and hit towards first base, and that's going to get down, and it's going to roll to the wall. Could be 2. He's taking a hard round. Get to second. The throw, not in time. Just barely missing him. The tag from Sims was there.
That was a phenomenal effort from Ted Burton. He fielded that ball himself in shallow right field and threw an absolute dart over to Sims. That was close play. It was close play. I do think they beat it there at second base, but Ted Burton, he fielded that ball all the way off to himself there, probably a good 20 feet behind first base. And first basemen aren't necessarily known for their throwing ability, but the former third baseman Burton threw an absolute strike over there to Sims. Close play. I think if we had a review, there'd be a chance they'd look at it, but gosh, that was an absolute dart by Burton.
Now we're going to go out down as a double, just legged it out. So Neister now on second base with the lefty Slate up at the plate now. Runner in scoring position for Slate, something you like to see. 18 RBIs on the season. Shows bunt and pulls back last second as the off-speed goes high.
Yeah, not exactly the hardest hit ball there for Neister. I mean, just a little bloop action. Right, landed probably less than a foot over the left side of first base. And, turned to a double into it. Average there, or what's the stat they say? The likes of an average? Probably be 100.
Yeah, absolutely. 1-0 on the way to Slate. This one, big swing, comes up empty. Yeah, Neister knew he wanted 2 out of the box, and that's really the only reason he got there. It was a close bang-bang play, but as soon as he hit that one, he saw the placement and saw it was going to be awkward for Burton to get over to, and a long way for Elliott to come from right field. So great aggressive base running there from Rutgers, taking advantage of every opportunity they've got. The 1-1 from Denner shows bunt again, doesn't pull back this time, just kind of pokes at it and misses, so no harm of a bunt here, most likely, as the count goes 1-2.
Yeah, sort of very interesting defensive alignment here for the Wolverines. You have Sims kind of holding on nicer there at second base. But you look at the outfield, center field, Rogers playing a couple steps to the left, from our left, excuse me. Elliott playing really, really far, leaving a big gap there down the right field line, which is so interesting against a left-handed batter. Stripes the ball down the right field line, and that might turn into a triple with how far Clark Elliott is away.
Jacob Denner's curveball has been tailing away from left-handed hitters and in towards those righties. You might want to try to get him on a weak ground ball to the left side. Try to keep that runner on second base with no outs. The 1-2 was fouled off, so we're going to do this count again. Denner to the glove now. Takes a deep breath. The leg kick. This one right at the knees rings him up. Great pitch from Denner.
Beautifully spotted fastball. Low and away corner. Like you said, breaking off those breaking balls. It's so tough to see when you see 2 consecutive breaking balls that start on the low and away corner and break away from the zone. When you see that third similar pitch coming at you, you think that breaking ball is, you think it's going to be a breaking ball and it's going to fall out of the zone, but it's a fastball and stays right on that paint. Just absolutely very, very good pitch calling there, and then very good execution there by Denner by hitting that fastball right on that low and away spot.
The first baseman Jordan Sweeney at the plate now as he watches pitch go by for called strike 1. Sweeney, a 245 hitter on the year, hitting 281 with runners in scoring position, so the average buffed slightly with Neisner sitting on second base after that double. Over in the on-deck circle is the second baseman, Welsh, looking for some redemption after the mistakes on the defensive end. 0-1 from Denner's popped up towards right field. Elliott covering a lot of ground. The second baseman, Bertram, over there as well. 3 Michigan defenders in the area. Bertram, Burton, and Elliott all covered a lot of ground. That one stayed high up in the air, but just kind of in no man's land. As I said earlier, that wind blowing towards left field pushed it off the line.
Yeah, with Clark Elliott playing so far deep, so he's playing so deep and so far to the left there of the home plate view, usually you would expect that to be his ball if he's playing in normal defensive alignment. But that shift on, it's tough for him to get there. Luckily, Riley Bertram's, like I said, such a good fundamental second baseman. He can get back to that spot. But usually you want your outfielder coming in to call off the infielders to take that easier catch.
The second baseman, Welsh, at the plate now. Runners still on second base, but 2 outs now. His first pitch, fastball on the outside corner, called strike 1. Rutgers in kind of a similar situation to Michigan. They got runners in scoring position with no outs and have tallied up 2 in a row now.
Man, it's hard to make contact when Denner is just absolute painting the corners with his fastball command as he is right now. Just looks so sharp out there.
0-1 from Denner's popped up foul over our heads.
I think it had a little off speed to it there. Jacob Denner switching pitches very, very well. Like I said, giving them different speeds, different eye levels, keeping these hitters honest. Really sharp execution so far here for Jacob Denner.
Yeah, Denner's location has been fantastic. Like
prime,
you said,
man. It's been fantastic.
Fastballs painting the corners, curveballs tailing away from lefties into righties. It's really hard to hit. It's been hugging that left side of the plate, that curveball, so, jamming those righty hitters. Interesting to see what he goes to here. 0-2 to Welsh. Have a quick called time. Looks like it was Bertram that called time behind the plate, or Mazer, rather.
Yeah, 0-2 count here. Like I said, you don't want to give a hitter anything he can drive, but it has to be incenting enough or, incentivize him enough a little bit to maybe check a swing.
The 0-2, this one high and outside. Like half of a check swing there from Welsh.
That's a good setup pitch. Fastball up, change at eye level. Might want to go another fastball up, set it up even more, and then break down a changeup or a breaking ball low and in. Again, it's all about the setup pitches. Michigan baseball has done a very, very good job in the past with Chris Fetter of really working hitters and changing eye levels and changing speeds. And it seems like right now they're not missing a step at all.
Advantage pitch from Denner again goes high, so the count evened out 2-2. Denner looked like he was in complete control, up 0-2 on Welsh here, and has kind of thrown away those last 2 pitches.
Again, could be setup pitches. The first one was definitely a high setup pitch, change at eye level. Second one, I think they wanted to go a fastball high in the zone. But now you have 2 fastballs high. It's the batter even knows it's coming, but he's so used to seeing those 2 high-level pitches. A breaking ball low and in might be a move right here.
The 2-2 to Kevin Welsh. Swung on and missed. Great pitch from Denner there. Again, went high and outside.
Hey, that's being unpredictable too. Like even I just said, and everybody in the world knows, 2 fastballs high right in a row, you probably should expect a breaking ball coming low and in. To keep him off balance and to kind of switch up the consistency, he throws another high fastball, something the batter probably did not expect. Absolute good way to set up pitches. Really good job pitch calling right there. Staying inconsistent. That's a key of calling pitches and executing for your pitcher. Staying inconsistent. And Michigan baseball just did it right there, stranding a runner on second base.
Rutgers only with 2 base runners as they're through their second inning of work at the plate. And, both of those were pretty much flukes. That first 0-2 pitch that looked like it almost hit the dirt before the hit by pitch in the first inning, and that double was just kind of a bloop single.
Yeah.
Should have been. It just took an awkward bounce and rolled off the wall. Burton did a nice job covering a lot of ground to get to it, but Denner's looked fantastic through 2.
Yeah, the rate per hit or the average of contact of a hit like that probably is nowhere near north of 200. That's probably the percentage of those hits that of that contact that you drove it down the right field there. Probably 1 out of 10 times, 2 out of 10 times, that's going to be a base hit. Average is probably sitting at 200. So it's not a hard hit ball at all. And, Denner gets out of it, like I said, spotting fastballs very well. But, like you said, they really haven't done anything significant on him so far. So he's spotting that fastball very well and changing eye levels incredibly.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pitching battle continues as Brent Teller heads out there for his second inning work. It's going to be 7, 8, 9 due up for the Wolverines. Ted Burton first, followed by Jimmy Obertop, and then Bertram rounding out the first order through. Ted Burton, a 308 hitter on the year, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Not really a guy that hits for power, but contact for sure. The first pitch swung on and popped deep foul over towards my car in the parking lot. Uh-oh, indeed. Beautiful weather here today. After the rain yesterday, seeing the sun is really nice.
A little chilly, but hey, we're in Michigan. What do you expect?
Exactly. 0-1 on the way. Fastball catches the outside corner, called strike 2. So Ted Burton now in a big hole early. Brent Teller can pretty much do anything he wants here as the righty takes his spot back on the mound.
Yeah, 0-2, same thing. Don't want to give a hitter what he can drive. He leaves it right over the plate there.
Teller kind of gets away with one there. Fastball right at the belt of Ted Burton. Just chopped it foul down the third baseline. Kind of looked like he rolled over. He was off balance coming out of the box.
Any pitching coach would absolutely just roll over in pain seeing an 0-2 fastball right down the plate. 0-2, you're breaking a fastball just outside of the zone. Nothing a hitter can drive, but it's a decent enough pitch where you think about swinging, or you break a breaking ball away.
Speaking of that breaking ball, great pitch from Brent Teller. Curveball just dives away, and Burton.
That's the kind of pitch on 0-2, man. You keep it in the, it's starting in the zone and breaks far away from the zone. It's enticing enough to swing at, and Burton did swing at, but it's never going to be a pitch where a guy's going to drive. If he drives something, it's a blooper over the first baseman's head trying to put it the other way. Absolute great pitch here by Teller.
First pitch to Jimmy Obertop. Change up high in the zone. He's going to watch it for ball 1. He's speaking of guys who can drive the ball.
Yeah.
Jimmy Obertop is one of them. 8 home runs on the season. Plenty of power in the bat of Obertop.
Yeah, I'll never forget this Game 2 of Vanderbilt series last year when both teams are top 10 teams in the country. And Obertop just drove that ball to left center against, I can't remember, I don't think it was Kumar Rocker. But it was one of the studs at Vanderbilt. And you're hitting a bomb off of one of the Vanderbilt pitchers, both of them this year, probably going to be top 5 picks. You got some good power over there.
Absolutely. Pitch number 2 is called strike 1 at the knees. Obertop settling back in for the 1-1 now. Teller shakes off one side now to the windup. This one, again, fastball high in the zone. I remember back in the first game I ever called for WCBN, a preseason game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Dayton Flyers, a baseball game. Jimmy Obertop hit a walk-off home run in the 7th inning. They played a 2-game, 7-inning, both doubleheader.
Yeah, Jimmy's got some pop, man. He just got that aggressive swing.
The 2-1?
He's got a hitter count right here, man. 3-1 now. Obertop. You don't want, if you're Teller, the last thing you want to do is leave a fastball right down the plate with Jimmy Obertop. He'll pop it over to Alumni Field. He's got that power and that strength. Especially
with the wind blowing out to left and a 3-1 hitter's count. Obertop's going to be swinging for the fences here. The 3-1. That one just catches the bottom of the zone. Obertop has a quick word with the umpire, kind of asking where that one was. From up here, at least, that one looked a little low and or outside, but our angle isn't the best.
Definitely looked a little low, but still. 3-1 count, that's the kind of spot you want to give.
3-2 to Obertop, popped up foul into the parking lot.
Like I said, 3-1 count. You obviously have to deliver a strike, but you leave pitches down the plate in the 3-1 count where every single hitter knows they got to give me something. They're swinging for the fences. So you have to be able to spot your fastball. That's where these pitchers make their money in the MLB. They spot these 3-1 pitches or even can deliver a breaking ball 3-1 that keeps the hitter honest.
3-2 to Obertop. Hard hit ball to second base, but solid over there is Welsh. A little bit of redemption after those first 2 errors in the top or in the bottom of the first inning. So Obertop had the count he wanted, drove hard, but just couldn't seem to find a gap. That's going to bring up Riley Bertram with 2 outs and nobody on. Obertop, good quality at bat there. We've seen him produce in pretty much every spot in the Michigan order. He's bounced all the way around from near the top down to hitting 8th today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was an absolute shot. Rocket right to the second baseman there, right over to Welsh. Jimmy Obertop didn't really run that one out very well. I don't know if he looked hobbled or if something's wrong, but he did not run that one out at all.
Didn't really have much time to get over there to first base. I mean, as hard as that ball was hit, Welsh just kind of had to secure it and flip it over to first base, which honestly has been kind of an issue for Welsh so far in this one. First pitch to Riley Bertram was chopped back foul to the net, so the count sits at 0-1 as Brent Teller takes his spot on the mound again. The 0-1 shows Bunton, gets it down, but right back to Teller. Can he leg it out? And he's safe.
Ooh.
They say he pulled his foot off the bag. The throw was there. Sweeney had to slide and pick it. They're going to ask for...
Yeah, Brito's pointing right at the home plate umpire to give a little check there, try to peel it to the home plate umpire, because that's one of the most easiest views for the home plate umpire, because they're right down the line, so they can see that ball, that foot, right on the first base easily. Looks like the first base umpires and come back to the home plate umpire and have a conversation. But man, just the inconsistency from the infielders and their throws for Rutgers right now has just been absolutely killing them. That's their third error of the day.
This could be huge for Michigan as they are back up to the top of the order. Jordan Rogers taking his spot in that righty batter's box as he quick steps out. We're still unsure of what the call will be. All three umpires are going to have a quick deliberation. I mean, as well as, home plate umpire Brent Rice could see that view down first base. First base umpire Michael Duffy had a pretty good view himself. Yeah. I mean, he was right behind the bag.
Right.
The call will stand.
That's kind of one of those calls where umpires know. I mean, umpires, when you're working with your crew, it's sort of a brotherhood. And like you just said, the umpire first base has an absolute look at it. So for you to change the call or appeal it, you're kind of stepping on his toes a little bit. You know what I mean? So most of the time, home plate umpires will just go with what exactly the first base umpire said. Because like you said, Charlie, absolute had the best view there is. You can't beat that view in first place. At first base. That's why they're there.
That sense of trust you mentioned as well, a big part of it. Unless it's a blatantly blown call,
right.
9 times out of 10, the call will stand. First pitch on the way to Jordan Rogers. Breaking ball called strike one right in the zone.
Yeah, with Bertram here at first base, guy with a lot of wheels. So far this season, Riley, 6 stolen bases on his 6 attempts, so he's 100%. Fake the steal right there on the first pitch. Could easily see him making it. Easy to see him taking second base here on the second pitch.
The speed of these Michigan hitters has been a huge cause for the reason that Rutgers now has 3 errors in just the second inning. They've just been putting a lot of pressure on what would normally be routine plays. I mean, Bertram there reached on a bunt, just put it down, and it wasn't a great bunt, wasn't really down a line.
Interesting here. Home plate umpire Brent Rice kind of pulled his book out, took his mask off, looked over at the first base dugout. I don't know if he gave a bench warning or very close there. Pickoff move at first base. Riley almost caught slacking right there. I think they gave Rutgers a bench warning over there. Brent Rice pulled out his book, wrote something down, took his mask off, looked right at the Rutgers bench, and then put his book away. Interesting. We'll see if we get any clarification on that.
I mean, Rutgers obviously probably unhappy with that last call.
Right.
Again, Teller throws over to first base. Bertram's lead has shrunk significantly, so he's back easily. Teller with that 93-mile-an-hour fastball has plenty of arm to get the ball over to first base on a pickoff attempt, and he has a really nice move,
he does.
Short and compact.
Very, very true, Charlie. It's so quick, especially for right-handed pitchers. It's so hard to make a move to first base. You got to turn your entire body.
0-1 count. Bertram takes 2 hard steps again, but Jordan Rogers fouls it off into the parking lot, so Teller will be in complete control here. 0-2, can really do anything he wants.
Teller's a really tough guy to steal on as well. When you get a guy, like we just talked about, has a very good move, but also brings so much velocity to the plate, that takes off, half a second, or not half a second, it takes off 0.2 of a second. Makes it much, much more difficult. And those 0.2 of a second pop time matters a lot from catcher to second base. Much harder to steal on.
Pitch out there. Trying to catch Riley Bertram lacking. Maybe see if they could get him running.
I mean, think about it as well. Imagine how much easier it is to steal on a breaking ball than it is on a fastball. I mean, those, that 8-9 mile per hour difference is huge. It's absolutely huge.
Teller once again throws over, but as you said, Bertram's lead has shrunk significantly, cut down probably a step or two since almost getting picked off.
Yeah, no hits for the Wolverines yet, but they've had 4 guys on base in this game.
Rogers, one of those 4. Walked his first time up in the first at-bat for the Wolverines today. Ended up getting stranded on third base.
Yeah, walk and 3 errors If you're Rutgers right now, you're the Scarlet Knights, you are smiling from ear to ear, knowing you have a good shot to walk out of the second inning 0-0 after having 3 years in the first 2 innings.
Another pickoff attempt. Bertram being kept real close over there at first base. Teller has him stuck in the back of his mind. The count sits at 2-2 for Jordan Rogers. Christian Malfetta over in the on-deck circle, hoping to get a shot to knock in a run here potentially.
Yeah, if you're Brent Teller here, you have 2 outs, 2-2 count, 2 strikes. Just focus on getting the out.
Bertram goes, but foul ball, so he's going to have to run back to first base. Bertram had a really good jump there.
I know pitchers like to keep guys, from stealing bases on them, but you're in a situation where you have 2 strikes. Jordan Rogers hasn't necessarily looked that good this at-bat. Just go out, get the strikeout, get a ground ball. If you steal second base on a hit and run, it is what it is. But, you got 2 outs, 2 strikes here. Focus on getting the out.
Rogers struggled a little bit with the strikeout this year. 13 strikeouts on the season. The 2-2 chop towards second base is going to be a close play. Welsh gets it and tosses it over to first base. So Rutgers, again, escapes disaster.
That's a very, very interesting play there for Rutgers. Covering the bag was DeGiro, covering from, he was a shortstop, covering the bag, Bertram stealing at second base. If that was Welsh, the second baseman, which usually on right-handed hitters, the second baseman's covering the bag to prevent from the guy going opposite field. Guy's more likely to pull it than go oppo. Usually the second baseman's covering the bag, and Rogers hit it right at the second baseman. So if the second baseman was covering, that probably turns first and third 2 outs, base hit, and then, runner Bertram advances over to third. Interesting to see him kind of switch it up. I don't know if that's been the trend with Rutgers this year, because like I said, usually the opposite side of the field, middle infielder, will cover the bag on stealing attempts at second base.
I mean, looking back at Rogers' first at-bat and then throughout that second one, he had a little bit of trouble keeping up with the velocity of Teller. Every foul ball he hit was pretty much towards that first base side.
True. Yeah, analytics probably has a huge play in it, knowing that Teller is a hard-throwing righty. Going up against a righty, he's probably going to be behind on it, probably driving that ball to the right side of the diamond. It's just interesting. Stuff like that makes baseball so much fun because that's the difference between, getting out of the inning or having a guy on third base in scoring position.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Denner will take the mound again. He's scoreless through 2 as Rutgers stepping back up to the plate. They're still on their first time through the order. It's going to be 9, then Top, Ceruto, Lasko, then Scheikoffer.
Yep, you have the 9 spot, and you're back at the top of the order here for the Wolverines. You got 2 righties, a lefty, and then followed by 3 righties. So a lot of opposite matchups here for Jacob Denner. Got to continue to spot that fastball, get some backdoor breaking balls, some breaking balls that break through the zone inside. He's got to keep doing what he's doing.
First pitch to Ceruto, low and in the dirt.
Yeah, starts off with a breaking ball. Interesting. I was like doing that. Chris Fetter loved doing that himself. Switching up looks on the first pitch of the at-bat.
The 1-0 is swung on, a big swing, but nothing comes of it. Ceruto not having the best season, the .211 hitter. 13 strikeouts on the season, has walked 7 times. Sophomore hitting in that 9 spot, looking for Rutgers' only second hit of the day. The first one coming back last inning with Neister on that double that was pretty much a bloop single.
Yeah. You see Ceruto here batting .211. You see a lot of catchers really struggle at the plate with how much pressure they got behind the plate right there. Obviously, such a big role as a catcher, managing the game from behind the dish. Hitting usually takes that little slack in the game if you're a catcher.
Ceruto, as you said, the catcher. I mentioned it a few times in my softball broadcast the past few days when hitters and catchers alike get their chance at the plate. They get a unique perspective of the strike zone because they get to see it from both angles as Ceruto swings on the 2-2 and fouls it back into the net. He kind of knows, which pitches he can lay off of.
He knows all the trends.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows umpires giving him maybe a half a foot outside. It's not calling a lot of breaking balls on 1-2 counts when the catcher's setting up outside. He knows exactly what the umpire's been calling for 2 innings.
The 2-2s hit deep towards left field, running back to the warning track into the wall. It's going to go off the top of the brick wall. Flores couldn't get to it. And that's going to be a stand-up double for Ceruto. Great piece of hitting there. Got the pitch he wanted on a count that wasn't really in his favor and just drove it to left. The wind helped him a little bit. That one carried. Ceruto.
Right. I thought that was a routine pop-up. I thought Tito was going to catch that one out in left field. Tito didn't necessarily know where the wall was at. It's one of those tough plays where you know it's going to hit the wall. You got to back up there and prevent the guy from really getting to third base. Luckily, Sems is really far out there, could field that ball and make sure that the catcher wasn't moving over third base. But still, you got to play that ball off the wall. But I think Tito thought he was going to catch it. With the wind blowing out, like you just said, Charlie, had that ball carry out.
That ball did carry really far. That's going to bring up the top of the order. Lasco, 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to second base in his first time up as Jacob Denner takes a look over at second base. Bertram made a nice play back in the top of the first inning to get Lasco throwing on the run across his body.
Yeah, short little chopper. Gotta love those plays from your middle infielders.
Pitch number 1 on the way, a breaking ball inside. As we said, Denner's breaking ball breaking in towards right-handed hitters.
It's got a lot of break on it, too. That's what makes Denner so special. If you can't supply the power as a lefty, you got to be able to supply the finesse. And he's got a ton of break on that breaking ball.
1-0 outside. That one change-up looked like. Mazur slides over on his right knee, so the count sits at a hitter's count, 2-0 for Lasco. Good position to be in, 19 RBIs on the season and decent speed on second base with Ceruto.
If you're Lasco, you just cannot strike out in this position. Put the ball in play, move the runner over to third.
2-0 hit deep towards left field. This one back to the wall. Is it going to go? And yes, it will. A 2-run shot from Lasco, his 9th of the season. And that wind helping out in left field. That ball absolutely crushed over the wall.
Yep, well, Lasco sure enough did not strike out. Absolutely drove that ball over to the left field. That's the thing, too, with left-handed pitchers coming in. You often can get right on top of it with that breaking ball movement coming in and just drive it to the pull side. And he just drove that ball to left field. Lasco, man, batting 290 with 298 with 9 home runs now. That's an absolute dynamic leadoff guy. And you get a leadoff dude to hit the ball 400 feet to left field. That's a pretty nice spot for your Rutgers.
Really, the first mishap we've seen from Denner today is pitch number 1 to Scheikhofer goes well outside. Mazur's going to go have a quick word with him. I think without the wind, that one was gone.
It's gone. Yep.
But with the wind, that was without a doubt. Cleared the wall, especially the higher wall in left field. I mean, that wall's, over 310 feet just right to the corner, and that ball was crushed.
Yeah, he got all of that one. He got absolute all of that one. That one was a no-doubter right off the bat.
Denner looking to bounce back here, but has thrown 2 straight balls, so another hitter's count here. Rutgers takes the first lead of this game. Score sits Rutgers Knights 2, Michigan 0. That's going to be strike 1, so the count no longer a hitter's count, 2-1 on the way towards Scheikhofer.
Yeah, they're definitely starting to make really solid contact now off of Denner over here. Leaving a lot of pitches right down the middle of the plate. He's starting to lose control of that fastball, not elevating levels. When you start doing that as a left-handed pitcher that doesn't supply a lot of power, you get in a lot of trouble.
That's the thing. We mentioned that finesse and lack of just straight-up velocity. That's where if you do miss, it's going to hurt. 3-run count on the way to Scheikhofer. This one right down the pipe. Scheikhofer looking for one he likes a little bit better. Count's going to go 3-2. Rutgers with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the third with no outs. In a position where they could potentially score some more. Full count. This one swung on and chopped towards first base. Routine play. And Michigan gets the out. For a second there with the shadow, it looked like Burton didn't even step on first
base. I thought
base.
the same thing. It looked weird. Yeah.
For a second, it looked like he didn't even get all the way to the base from our angle.
It looked like he just dragged his foot on the side of the bag and not step on the bag. I thought the same thing. It's funny you saw that. Good spots there by Denner. Finally, he went low and in, and then elevated to high and got a little chopper over there to Burton. Starts off with a beautiful breaking ball. Gets DeGiro swinging right away.
And DeGiorgio comes up empty with that one. Again, I was a little bit nervous on that play at first base. I guess Burton tried to stay off the bag to, protect the runner Scheikhofer. As the 0-1 swung on, chopped towards third base in foul territory, so no throw from Malfetta, but an advantage situation for Jacob Denner. Looking to get out of this one with minimum damage as Rutgers has already put 2 up on the board. Over across the way at Alumni Field, Northwestern and Michigan are tied in the top of the third, 0-0 still.
It's got to be awesome as a northern school having 2 teams in a spring sport ranked in the top 25 baseball and softball. It doesn't happen much. You don't see northern teams. Obviously, Michigan softball has been a very competitive program for the last decade, 2 decades. But baseball is really starting to come around the corner the last 4 years.
0-2 to Giorgio, well outside, so count still in favor of Jacob Denner. 1-2 it sits.
Yeah, it's such a disadvantage as a northern baseball school to compete with these southern teams that can play outside year-round. Yeah, you can travel and do all that kind of stuff, but you're not at your own home diamond.
1-2 hit on the ground towards Malfetta across the diamond, and he keeps his foot on the bag. Nice play there by Burton to keep that right foot just locked down and stretch out with the left arm to get the out.
Yeah, nice little insurance play there by Burton as well. He knew he was kind of stretching away from the bag a little bit, so you catch it. Anytime you have any question, whether you're on the bag or off the bag with no runners on, just swipe a tag at that base runner. You never know if the umpires, you see your foot off, call you off the base, just for insurance, swipe that tag right on the runner. He did both. I think he stayed on the bag, but also I think he got that tag down as well.
I mean, we saw Michigan reach on an error like that earlier on that bunt attempt.
Doesn't
First
hurt.
pitch
Why
to
not do
Brito
it?
was a ball. He swings on pitch number 2, so the count evens out at 1-1. Yeah, as you mentioned, tough for northern schools to get going early in March. Luckily, we've had some decent weather here in April so far, but we had some big snowstorms in March here in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, we had one. We got some snow a couple days ago.
Count sits at 2-1. Denner set to deliver this one. Again, rifle back into the net. Count's going to stay or go to 2-2.
Yeah, another guy that's not afraid to hit the ball over the fence here is Brito. 291, 9 home runs, 28 RBIs in the season. Some pop. Definitely some pop in this Scarlet Knight lineup here. Yeah,
Rutgers loves the long balls. This one hit deep towards right field, but tailing well foul. That one's going to land in the bullpen.
If you're Denner here, you got 2-2 count. Brito's been sitting on that fastball very, very well. 2-2, yeah, you might risk going full count, but break off a little changeup low and away, or low and right down the center of the plate. Sitting right on top of that fastball. That's what he's looking at right now. He knows you're a little off balance with 2 runs given up this inning.
Denner's 2-2 high and outside, so count goes full. Full count, 2 outs. No runners on for Rutgers after they put up 2 runs on the solo shot from Lasko. Ceruto reached on the double, and then very next at bat, Lasko put one over the monster wall in left field. Brito fouls off the 3-2. So
a lot of fastballs coming right now to Brito. I would think Denner in the Michigan lineup would kind of try to slow it down, switch some speeds on here, because Brito is on all of these fastballs. He's just missing them.
Trying to keep him off balance and get some swing in there. There's the breaking ball. So Michigan is going to go back out on the offensive attack, but not before the Rutgers Scarlet Knights put up 2 runs on a 2-run home run from Lasko. You are listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports.
Yeah, really good execution there for Rutgers. You're looking at this game right now. You look at the scoreboard. Wolverines got 0 hits. You think, okay, I don't know why people think that Michigan should be winning this game. But those 3 errors, they've left 4 runners on base for Michigan. They've left 4 runners on base. One of those innings was bases were loaded with no outs, and Michigan could not convert on any run. So for Rutgers to have a 2-0 lead here, it's to say the least, it's very exciting for Rutgers. You give up 3 errors, you should not expect to be winning a game. But Michigan hasn't been able to convert, still hitless on the ball game. Just not being able to take advantage of those mistakes that Rutgers has given them.
Yeah, the bats for the Scarlet Knights really bailing out their defense. 2 runs on 3 hits, but they've given up 3 errors on the defensive end. Michigan still searching for their first hit. Christian Malfetta will see if he can do it himself here. Last time up, reached on an error, and then eventually ended up getting stranded on third base. after he advanced on what was eventually labeled a fielder's choice from Mazer. But here we go as Malfetta walks out to his spot in the batter's box, hitting just under 300 now at 299. As we mentioned before, decent power from Malfetta, 4 home runs on the year and 32 hits. 6 doubles as well. You know, we can leg one out. Brent Teller wastes no time going to the windup. First pitch breaking ball called a little bit high. It looked good from up here, but Malfetta has a better view, and so does the umpire. Jake Elliott in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, Malfetta, another guy that's had to take on a big role this year. You know, batting in the middle of the lineup in a team that lost a lot from last year. Donovan, Blomgren, Wogu. There's probably so many pieces that the Wolverines lost last year that's going to be hard to replace. But we've had guys like Malfetta move in, look really good. Clark Elliott's looked really, really good.
Correction is Clark Elliott in the on-deck circle as
Jake,
Malfetta takes
Clark.
a big cut. At that one, count's going to go 1-2. Malfetta wanted absolutely all of that one.
Yeah, Jake Elliott, place kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles. Not the right fielder for the Michigan Wolverines.
Malfetta rung up on that one on the outside corner. Is going to have a quick word with the umpire, frustrated with the call. They're having a long conversation out there. Malfetta obviously unhappy. Still out there kind of jawing at the umpire.
I don't know what Malfetta was upset about. That pitch looked pretty darn good to me, right on the outside corner.
Malfetta obviously unhappy as he slowly walks back to the dugout, and Clark Elliott walks out there to take his spot. That's something you love to see if you're a pitcher. Hitter's frustrated.
Yeah. That's one of the cardinal sins of a hitter. Striking out, looking, is one of the most frustrating things in the world.
Great play by the second baseman, Welsh. He's really bounced back since that error in the first inning. That ball well hit to his left hand. Runs over, slides on the left knee, and makes the play. That one, a well-hit ball from Clark Elliott.
Very hard hit. That's such a tough play for the second baseman, too, because that ball's got so much downward action. It's hit so well and has so much downward action that it's going to skip right off the turf here. And second baseman had to get right in front of it. Welsh had to get right in front of it, kind of deliver it off to the side and throw it over to first. That's such a tough play with that downward action. That's going to create that skipping, movement.
Not only did it skip, it tailed to the right, just away from the second baseman. Welsh's pitch number 1 to Griffin Mazer goes low and outside, ball 1. Yeah, great defensive bounce back from Welsh. We've seen him make 2 deep plays. This ball's hit deep towards left field, but well foul. Mazer, 5 home runs on the season, showing off the power, but that ball pushed well to the left side.
Yeah, Michigan's been producing a lot of pop from behind the plate over the last couple of years. Joe Donovan was a guy that was never afraid to show off his power. He had that big home run. Actually had a really great super regional in the last, college baseball tournament we've seen. Had a couple home runs against number 1 ranked UCLA. And then now Mazer coming in 5 home runs in the year. A lot of pop producing from behind the plate for the Wolverines.
After ripping that one down the third baseline, Mazer comes up empty on a big cut on a 1-1 count. So Teller in the driver's seat, 1-2 and 2 outs, no base runners on. Michigan still looking for their first hit of this one. 1-2 pitch popped up. That one sky high. The first baseman Sweeney coming in. Can he make the play? Lost it in the sun for a sec, but eventually recovers. So Michigan heads to the top of the 4th, back out in the defensive end, still without a run. Rutgers leads 2-0.
Yeah, without a run, and also without a hit. A couple hard hit balls there. Clark really drove that ball to second base, but Wolverines, if they want to give Jacob Denner some help here, they had to convert on those errors that the Rutgers gave them, but also they got to start creating their own production. They also got driving the ball themselves, hitting the gaps, working down the lines, not really executing from the dish at all right now. 0 hits. Left 4 runners on base. You got to work on a few things here if the Wolverines get back in this ball game.
Yeah, you got to be able to take advantage of mistakes. I mean, Rutgers has 3 errors in the field, and Michigan still scoreless.
Looks like we have a home run over there at Alumni Field. Wolverines in the all-white today?
Yes, they are.
Someone hit one out.
Northwestern wearing the purple unis. Uni matchup yesterday was fantastic over there for the doubleheader. Michigan was wearing the maize jerseys with blue pants and Northwestern in the white jerseys with purple pinstripes.
That is nice. Northwestern, man. Everybody always craps on Northwestern's colors, man. I think they have a really nice color combo. Black and purple, man. Their football uniforms can be pretty sweet at times. I always like the white and purple, too. The all white with purple stripes. Super solid look as well.
High school team was purple and white. I have a lot of purple back in my closet in my apartment.
All right. Purple's a great color.
Heading into the top of the fourth as Mazer throws down to second base to end warm-ups. Due up for Rutgers is going to be Neister, Slight, and Sweeney. And Neister's first time up, he had that double on the bloop single, would have been over the first baseman Burton's head. And just like we said before, he read it out of the box, was really aggressive. Rutgers not afraid to take chances.
Yep. Another, not such an aggressive shift, but you've seen Bertram play a couple steps on the right side of the second base.
Yeah, last time he was playing on the left side, over basically towards shortstop, pitch number 1, off speed, in the dirt.
If you're Michigan, though, you let Neister have another bloop single like that, because that's not necessarily a hard hit ball. You're okay with stuff like that happening because they're not making solid contact. They're okay with him saying, hey, try to put the ball the other way here, Neister. You did it last time.
The 1-1 to Neister, foul back over the net. Count's going to go 1-2. Give you a quick update on that softball game. Michigan now leads 2-0 as that home run that we just saw Taylor bump with a 2-run homer. RBI knocks in Natalia Rodriguez. Meister swings on this one over the head of Benjamin Sems and in the outfield. He's now 2 for 2 with a double and a single. Great piece of hitting there from Neister.
Yep, nice little contact there. Low and in fastball. Get those hands inside. Get those hips inside. Drive it out to left field. It's so hard for left-handed pitchers to throw inside to right-handed batters because they're right on top of it. You know what I mean? The ball's coming in that inward action. If it's a fastball, they're already right on top of it, so they can drive their hands and hips in pretty quickly. And Neister, it wasn't exactly the hardest hit ball, but it was exactly where it needed to be. Just really good piece of hitting there by Neister.
Sems got up for that one and still came up empty. A decent vertical over there at shortstop. His pitch number 1 from Slight is swung on and ripped over into the Rutgers.
Just a lot of space over there. Sorry to cut you off there, Charlie. A lot of space. Clark Elliott is leaving down that right field line. I mean, Charlie, he's a good 40 yards off of that right field line. That's a lot of space. He rips it down. Slight rips it down the right field corner. Obviously, with Burton covering first base over there, he can cover that ground. But he rips it over Burton's head. That's a triple territory.
0-1. Goes inside. 1-1 is the count. I think Elliott might be trying to play that.
Yeah, did you catch that there? As the pitch was coming, Denner went set there. Clark Elliott jogged. He had a couple shuffle steps over the right field, covering that territory a little bit. Now he's playing straight up.
1-1 to Slight. This one hit right back to the net, and the liner's going to roll back over towards the umpire. That wind, again, blowing hard towards left field. Elliott might be trying to play, an arcing pop-up to right field. But, I mean, if something's down the line, he's not going to be able to get there in time. If it's hit hard and hit well.
Yeah, he gets stuck down in that corner. That's Triple's alley right over there.
Pitch number 4 to Slight is hit in the gap between second and shortstop, and a well-hit ball. Another line drive for Rutgers. They're making solid contact on Denner now. That's 2 back-to-back line drive singles.
Yup, they're just finding holes right now. They're not driving the ball super hard. That wasn't a crazy hard hit ball, but hey, he found a hole, drove it up the middle. That's all. The best contact in baseball, the best hit you can do is a deadbeat straight line drive right at the pitcher's head. That means you hit the ball absolute flush and absolutely perfect. Yeah, it's not a home run. It's not going to go in the stat sheet as an RBI, but that means you squared up the baseball perfectly. And hitting it up the middle like that takes a lot of skill, and he absolutely drove it up the middle. Not like I said, not the hardest hit contact, but found a hole. First and second here with no outs for Rutgers. Carries to the bottom of the lineup right here. They're going to lay one down.
Sweeney popped up to second base his last time up, looking for redemption. 26 RBIs on the season. He has 2 runners on here. First pitch out. They're going to throw down to second base. Michigan took a shot to try to get the lead runner, Neister. Mazer with a decent throw down to second base, and Bertram there to apply the tag, but the lead from Neister was just a little bit too short. Mazer now throwing out some signs to his fielders, getting them all in a row.
They're figuring out this first and second no-out situation. Sweeney not a guy that looks like he could be a great bunter. Big guy, 242, 7 home runs. This situation, you might want the big fella. Just let him swing.
The 1-0 is a called strike at the knees. Count's going to go 1-1. The corners aren't really playing up, just at the edge of the grass. The infield back looking to turn 2.
Yeah, Marfetta's playing a little close. He's playing level with the bag, but it's natural for a third baseman. Double play depth up the middle.
Burton over there right on the edge of the grass and runs in as they square to bunt. He gets it down. The throw over from Malfetta to get him and just gets him in time. Great job by Denner there communicating that was Malfetta's ball, tailed off at the last second, but productive at bat from Sweeney. Both runners advance, and now Rutgers with 2 runners in scoring position as Welsh heads to the plate.
Yeah, one of those situations. Sweeney's not the greatest, drag down bunter, but you're a college baseball player. You should be able to lay down bunts on fastballs thrown right down the plate. Good job laying it down there. I thought it was gonna be popped a little bit. I thought Malfetta had a shot at making a play on it, but first and second no outs. Bottom of the lineup, you gotta get guys in scoring position. That's exactly what Sweeney executes right there with that sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, that bunt not really popped up. It did stay in the air for a long time.
Infield in now.
Yep, as you said, infield playing in run prevention mode. First pitch to Welsh, outside corner, off speed. Called strike 1.
Yep, infield in and outfield in. Both Rogers, Flores, and Elliott out there, left, center, right. All of them playing a little, couple steps in case you get that blooper. You can deliver that strike to home plate.
Welsh only 5 hits on the year, one of which was a home run. Doesn't have too much power as he takes a big swing at the 0-1, comes up empty, count now 0-2.
Yeah, only hitting 200 now. 7 RBIs though. 5 hits, 7 RBIs though. Still converting with runners in scoring position. Really prime spot for Welsh to do it again right here. Second and third one out. You got to put the ball in play. Can't strike out.
Hitting 200, 283 with runners on. The 0-2 on the way from Denner. This one popped up towards center field in the gap. Plenty of time to get under it. They're going to tag, and the play at the plate, it's going to be close. The throw, 1 hop, and takes 2 hops, and Mazer can't get the tag down. They throw over to third base now and have him dead to rights.
Can't do that.
Doubled up to now end the inning.
The run will score, but third out is committed over there at third base. That's the Cardinals in the base running, Charlie.
Absolutely. Never want to make the first or third out of an inning at third base. I mean,
especially on a play where you really there's no sense of running. Why are you running right there when you just scored a run? That's one of the easiest throws in the world from the catcher to third base, especially right-handed catchers. Their body and their transfer of weight, it's already naturally moving that way. So all you got to do is throw a dart down there. Super easy throw. Yeah, you can't, like you just said, first, third out. Can never commit it at third base. Gets them out of an inning right there. For Wolverines, you're obviously not happy to give up a run, but you're happy with that base running mistake.
Or if you're going to try and take advantage of that and take third base, you got to do it right away because the center fielder's coming home with that sack fly, and they're going to try to get the out to prevent you from scoring again.
Which is a really good point, Charlie. Like, why would you not tag with the lead runner? I mean, that's a free base. They're giving you, they're going to come home with it. It's a free base. Because the right fielder's not going to throw it all the way across the diamond over to third base. Going to home plate's much more naturally smooth.
You saw after Slight was tagged out at third, the third base coach had a few words for him.
Yeah.
Obviously frustrated with that one, but Michigan gets out of it without having to deal again with runners in scoring position. Due up for the Wolverines is 5, 6, 7, Sems, Flores, and Burton. All of them 0 for 1 today. Michigan still looking for their first hit of this ball game. Brent Teller has been dealing so far.
Yep. Spotting fastball really well. Really, without his infielder committing a bunch of errors, absolute dominant game. It's nothing on him there with his infielders making mistakes. But you can spot your fastball that well, and you're throwing it that hard. Tough to hit, man. Really tough to hit. His off-speed stuff hasn't been fantastic, but it's enough to keep the batters, off balance here. And it's just, like I said, man, spotting fastballs and throwing hard, it's a huge advantage.
Michigan hasn't made too much solid contact today. The only times where they have, it's either been deep foul or in the infield. Right. They haven't really been able to drive the ball to the outfield.
Yeah, Overtop hit a really sharp ball to second base. Clark Elliott hit a really sharp ball to second base. If you're Sems here, make contact, drive it out the outfield somewhere.
First pitch is swung on and missed by Sems, and his first at-bat struck out swinging on 3 different curveballs. I mean, they all just dove into him, and he came up empty on all of them. You kind of mentioned before, not the best at-bat from Benjamin Sems. As he's caught swinging on that curveball again. It's diving in towards his back foot. I mean, like you said, Brent Teller not going to blow you away with his off-speed stuff.
Right.
Nothing fantastic, but with that fastball pumping 93, the curveball and the changeup is going to keep you off balance. Goes to that fastball there, low and in the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Ceruto.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose, Charlie. Whenever you have overpowering stuff, you're hitting 94, 93 in Big Ten baseball. You just got to have a curveball that's got enough stuff to keep the batters off balance.
1-2 to Sems is just waved at, and he's now got his second strikeout of the afternoon. Teller dealing up there.
Yeah, some more off-speed stuff there from Teller. Looked like it was a changeup away. Can't exactly see from this angle. It was definitely some downwards action. Looking good, Teller, man. Absolute rolling through this. Also, too, it tells you a lot about the quality of a pitcher when he can get out of certain situations. You have bases loaded, no outs in the very first inning of the game after the infield just made 2 horrible errors. If you can get out of that situation, that's pretty darn good, man. Teller's done a very, very good job today. Very impressed.
Flores flew out to right field in his last time up. Teller now with 4 strikeouts on the afternoon, half of those on Benjamin Sems. He's really got his number there. In the on-deck circle is Burton. Everybody playing pretty much straight up as the 1-0 to Tito Flores bounces into the glove of Ceruto. He's got a hitter's count on the way, 2-0.
Yeah, for the Wolverines right now, all you want is base runners. Tito, 2-0, man, don't try to hit it over the fence. Hit it sharp somewhere, left field, right field. Put it down the corners. Put someone in scoring position.
2-0 is hit hard on the ground towards shortstop. Should be a routine play if he can rifle it across the diamond. He does, so that's out number 2. Flores grounds out over towards DeGiorgio.
Yeah, again, DeGiorgio with another. He just doesn't seem like he looks comfortable playing these balls right now. Really not hit hard ground ball there for Flores. DeGiorgio's got a charge on that, scoop it, throw it over to first base, hit the guy in the chest. Another really low throw, another play where he's letting the ball come to him. Infielders just don't look comfortable. I don't know, maybe if it's a discrepancy in the material of the infield. I don't know if they play on a grass, dirt infield over in Rutgers, and they're kind of having a hard time with the turf, but don't look comfortable right now.
First pitch to Ted Burton, a curveball low and in the dirt. I couldn't agree with you more, Andy. Quick update on that softball game. I was about to say, over in center field, Michigan still leads 2-0 as they head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Again, going with the curveball to Burton. This one hits the zone, even out 1-1. Teller has had command of his off-speed stuff. He's been able to hit his spots.
Right. Yeah, in the first inning, he had a little trouble. He sailed a couple curveballs, but since then, you're totally right, man. He's been absolute dominant.
The 1-1, another off-speed pitch. This one hit hard down the third base line.
I mean, they just look so off balance right now, the Michigan lineup. Burton was so far in front of that one that it wasn't even funny. Burton's now sitting on the back of his heels, knowing, okay, breaking ball just got me right there. Wouldn't it be a bad idea for Teller to deliver that 94, 95 mile per hour fastball up in the zone? Because he's all game, man. He's just been getting these guys with these off-speed because everybody's so worried about the speed. And now that people are thinking about the off-speed, time to go back to the well, and he does.
Blows it by him on the 1-2 count. Teller goes with the high heat and gets Burton to chase upstairs. So Rutgers shutting down this Michigan defense. After those 3 errors, 2 coming in the first, 1 in the second, they've been locked in. Jacob Denner's going to have to head back out there and try to get his team back in on the offensive attack as soon as possible. He has 9, then top due up Ceruto, Lasko, and Scheikhofer in Ceruto's last time up. We saw that double off the wall, and then Lasko followed it up with a 2-run bomb to left field.
Yeah, that was pitching 101 there by Teller. I mean, breaking ball. Get Denner out, or get Burton right out on his front foot. A couple choppers foul left side of the diamond, and then just come back with an absolute gasser right up the upper part of the zone, 94 miles per hour. I mean, switching eye levels. I think I've said it 25 different times today. Hopefully you guys aren't playing a drinking game. It'd be a long night. It'd be a short night. But breaking ball, changing eye levels. You're working that breaking ball, going low. Pop up that fastball up. There's just not much you can do with it. You're so used to seeing those breaking ball low. You're starting to get used to that. Get back on your front foot, trying to drive through the zone, and that fastball comes up. You got to get your foot out there fast and your hands up there. And you just can't elevate it that quickly because you're so used to seeing those breaking balls. But also changing speeds, like we talked about with not being able to sit on that 94-mile-per-hour fastball. You got to have a breaking ball that's good enough to switch up the balance of the hitters. And Teller's just been doing it. I don't know, pretty perfect today. He's pretty darn
absolutely.
good.
The graduate student from Miami, Florida, throws about an average of 4 strikeouts a game, has already hit that quota through 4 innings as we head to the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and Teller wasn't necessarily a guy that's been super dominant this year. ERA in the 4s, 1.4 WHIP. Hasn't been fantastic, but today he's sure looking good.
Ceruto swings on the first pitch and knocks it through the infield. He's now 2 for 2 with a double and a single, not wasting any time. Denner left that one over the plate, and a hard hit ball through the infield. Malfetta laid out for it, but came up empty.
Yeah, Denner's starting to lose his ability to spot. First couple innings, looking good on the corners. Fastball is looking good. But like I said, if you're not an overpowering guy as a left-handed hitter, and you start leaving pitches over the plate, especially the righties, it's going to be a long day on the bump. And it's kind of starting to look like that way here for Denner.
Interesting to see how Denner approaches this one. Lasko took him yard last time. First pitch hit hard towards third base. That one left over the plate. Lasko was swinging for the fences there, just kind of rolled it over. There is some action down in the Michigan bullpen. Can't quite see who it is.
Yeah, same thing there, Charlie. Again, it's leaving that fastball right there on the inner third, but it's not exactly on the paint, keeping it towards the middle of the zone. Lasko's a guy that made you pay last time. Hit 307 now. Can't afford to make that same mistake.
Slugging percentage of .670. You know he has some power. That one in the dirt. Nice block by Mazur to keep it in front of him.
Yeah, that's just a case of Denner trying to overthrow his breaking ball. Holding on to it just a little too long. Trying to get more downward spinning action on it and just holds on to it just a little long. That's usually what happens when you see a guy throwing the dirt. I know it sounds super obvious, but they're trying to create more breaking downward action on their breaking ball, and they hold on to it just a little too long. And it sharps right into the ground.
Rutgers 6 hits on the day. The last 2 guys have had half of them. 2 for Ceruto, 1 for Lasko as he swings on the 1-1. Great curveball in the dirt. Had him way off balance. Lasko's 1 hit of the day, though, as we mentioned, was that big one.
Yeah.
Sky-high home run to left field.
Absolute moonshot. Try to put a hole over there in Ustaban Field Center. Probably a good 100 yards past the left field wall. I don't think it went that far, Charlie, but it was a pretty good hit.
Not quite, but it was well hit. Tito Flores way back by the wall. The off-speed gets away from Mazur, and Ceruto's going to take second base for free. That one goes off the ground and off the right shoulder of Mazur, rolling over towards the Rutgers dugout. Plenty of time for Ceruto to take second base uncontested. So Rutgers now with a runner in scoring position. Lasko hitting .333 with runners in position like that.
Yeah, tough pitch to block there from Mazur. It's always harder to block glove side than hand side. Hand side, you can always pull your glove a little more off to the right, but it's so hard pulling it left, but also staying around the ball where you dart it right back to the plate. And especially a lefty, that breaking ball breaking that way naturally, it's very hard.
2-2 misses just upstairs, so it's going to be a full count for Lasko when he steps back in.
That being said, though, you're a Division I catcher at a ranked baseball school. You got to be able to surround that ball and block it right with the chest, keeping it down on home plate. Mazur let that one get away from him just a little bit. Obviously gets over a big key runner to second base.
Full count, no outs to Lasko, and Denner walks him. Curveball bounces up in the dirt. He's going to take his time and now head on down to first base. That's going to bring up Scheikoffer. Scheikoffer 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out swinging his first time up and grounded out his last time. So we're going to have a quick meeting on the mound, looks like. Michigan calls time. It'd be interesting to see if they do make a pitching change here. Denner starting to struggle a little bit. Rutgers has good speed on the bases currently. Ceruto hasn't attempted to steal a base today, but we saw him leg out that double. He's got some decent speed. And then, of course, Lasko 3 for 4 on steal attempts today.
Yeah.
Or not today, but on the season has yet to attempt one today.
Right. When too, in most baseball teams. It's a term that gets overused sometimes, but it's used a lot. The ninth hitter is usually the second leadoff. I don't really like that philosophy, but usually it's a guy that can be somewhat quick that can get on base, to have some speed on the base pass when your top of your lineup comes up. So you got the 9 hitter on second right now, and you got the leadoff guy, which we know is usually the fastest guy in the team with the best contact. You get those two guys on base right now with no outs with your 2 hitter up right now. It's the guy that usually doesn't strike out a lot. Huge advantage for Rutgers, a big opportunity. You might see Shy Cover here to lay down a bunt, get their 3 and 4 spot up with 2 ducks on the pond with 1 out. Curious to see here.
Playing on the edge of the grass, and he did show bunt, but
Yep.
pulled it back as that pitch was high and outside. Rutgers not scared of playing small ball. We saw him already lay down 1 bunt today that was successful in moving runners over. In a similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. With the Giorgio and Brito coming up, I mean, Shy Cover can lay one down here. You're putting your 2 best hitters, 2 of your 3 best hitters, right in great spots to get RBIs.
Malfetta charging down. They try to throw a back pick over to second base. Cerudo not fooled, back safely.
Yeah, a lot of games being played right now by the Wolverines. You keep seeing Malfetta popping up really quickly, trying to charge in at third base. You're seeing Bertram covering the bag. You're seeing Sems kind of roll over to third base when Malfetta is coming up. A lot of games, a lot of movement. Rutgers not buying it.
Michigan, very good defensive team. Rutgers' 6 hits have pretty much just been on balls placed in the gaps as he pokes at a bunt and whiffs. Scheikhofer now sits at a 1-1 count.
Yes, you got a double charge on both corner infielders with Malfetta and Burton coming in. And you see Sems rolling over to third base, and you see Bertram coming over to second base. So 2 guys charging, both bags being covered. Sometimes teams can get kind of cheeky, have the center fielder Rogers move into second base for a back pick. That is one of the most dangerous plays in the world because you scout over Rogers' head. The guy in first, there's nobody behind Rogers. I mean, unless the right fielder, left fielder comes over. But that's a lot of space to cover in such a short time span.
Closest guy is 40, 50 yards away. That's a lot of ground to cover.
That's why you don't see it happen a lot. You see it more in softball because teams can get interesting with such a smaller field.
Scheikhofer shows bunt and pulls back, and that's going to be called strike 2. So the threat of the bunt mostly goes away unless Rutgers wants to get a little cheeky here on the 1-2 count. No outs.
This is the 4th time you've used cheeky, man. It sounds like a European soccer team. Some soccer commentators.
Yeah, DeGiorgio on deck. Rutgers just going to look to get guys on and in scoring position. I mean, DeGiorgio, a contact hitter. I mean, he has 14 RBIs on the season as well as 5 home runs. Denner taking his time up there. Eventually says yes to a sign. Now goes to the glove. Back pick attempt, and this one's drilled deep towards third base. Benjamin Sems doing a nice job keeping Cerudo close. You heard the whole Rutgers dugout scream back. They thought a back pick was coming. Fooled me even.
That's rare for Cerudo. Yes, you listen to your dugout, but you are watching the pitcher. You are watching the pitcher to see what move he is giving. Yes, Sems is coming behind you and charging at second base. But if the pitcher doesn't make a move, guess what? He's not making a move to second base. You got to watch a pitcher. He's telling the whole story.
We haven't really seen Denner make a real move over to second base. Attempted to throw over once, but it was real lackadaisical and just kind of, an afterthought. The 1-2 to Scheikhofer, swung on, popped deep towards center field. That can carry a little bit. Eventually goes all the way over to the left. Tito Flores gets it and throws it in. There's going to be no attempt at a tag. That one, off the bat, looked like it was going right towards center. A lot of spin, and like we've mentioned a few times, that wind just pushes it all the way to Tito Flores. He barely moved for that one.
Yep, that's the Michigan wind. Come late winter, early spring. That wind is always strong, and it's definitely carrying out to left field. Because like you just said, man, I thought that was a bloop single. Not a bloop single. I thought it was a bloop, shallow left center field. And that ball carried. It did carry super deep, but now it's right in the standard play where the left fielder usually sits. Ball carried quite a bit.
Rutgers still with 2 runners on here, 1 in scoring position, and 1 out as DeGiorgio steps up to the plate. 273 hitter, hitting 250 with runners in scoring position.
Floating changeup. call for a strike there for Michigan. That was dead center plate there. DiGiorgio could have put that one over in the big house.
Yeah, that one was dangerous, but Denner gets away with one here, and now he's up in the count. 0-1. As I said before, 1 out. Middle infield going to be looking to turn 2 if they can here. DiGiorgio, not too much speed.
Yeah, the changeup is the one pitch that I don't like to finish inside of the zone because it's got downward action, but it usually doesn't have much side-to-side action unless you're throwing a typical circle change, where guys can stay on the same level, can stay on the same alley, but don't have to change their swing much. Just kind of have to lower it a little bit. Guys drive changeups all the time.
DiGiorgio pops up the 1-1 into foul territory, so it's going to be 1-2. DiGiorgio with a big frame in that right-handed batter's box, sitting at 6'5", 210 pounds.
Big country. Big DiGiorgio. 273, 5 home runs, man. That's exactly what you want out of your 3 spot. Guy that can produce RBIs, but isn't hitting at a spot where he's striking out every other at bat. Seems like that's been a trend in the MLB with launch angle switching up a little bit. A lot of guys hitting home runs. A lot of guys striking out. Not DiGiorgio.
The 1-2. Big swing, and as you say that, Denner gets him on the outside corner.
Great located fastball on the outside corner there. Just talked about how he delivered a changeup in the middle of the zone. Kind of maybe made DiGiorgio a little complacent. You know, sitting in a pitch thinking, I just got a good one. I might get another good one here. And he starts fishing a little bit. And Denner just gives a nice little fastball low away. Gets DiGiorgio chasing. Good at bat. Really, really good at bat.
Stepping into the box now is Burrito. 0 for 2 with a strikeout looking and a strikeout swinging back in the 3rd inning. That one, no swing, but a called strike.
Another floating breaking ball coming. Pretty hanging over the plate there. Wolverines in a shift. Got 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond with Bertram playing a couple steps to the left side of second base.
Seen a lot of defensive shifts from the Wolverines today, trying to take advantage of all the analytics they can. Denner takes a look over to second base, now delivers to the plate. That one just misses on the outside half, 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1 count here to Brito. Brito. We obviously see a guy with a lot of power, 9 home runs, 288. Guy can do a lot of damage. Still got to spot your fastballs. That breaking ball first pitch to that bat. If Brito was first pitch swinging, that ball could have been flown out to left field too over the wall. Got to be able to spot your pitches here for Denner.
1-1, big swing, but no contact. 1-2 is the count. If you want to really get into those kind of next-gen stats and look at Brito's stats with runners in scoring position, hitting .355, but only .289, just above his average with 2 outs.
Yeah, big-time clutch hitter here is Brito. You talk about runners scoring position .355. That's pretty darn good. Big opportunity here for him.
If you're Rutgers, you want to be able to get to your next hitter, Neister, as he's 2 for 2 on the day. The 1-2 fouled off, so we're going to do the 1-2 again. As I was saying, Neister 2 for 2 on the day, especially with runners on. That could be a recipe for some more runs. Rutgers leads 3-0 here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, Neister today has just showed the world. All you got to do in baseball is make contact, and anything can happen. Bloop single over to right field, double. You know, not a hard hit ball, but a somewhat hard hit ball to left field. Got a single out of it. Brito's got to have that same approach here with 2 strikes. Just make contact.
1-2. They said it's chopped foul. Went off his own foot, so they're going to wave it dead. Or I guess not. I guess they said it was in or in fair territory rather. Got a little bit confused on the signs there. He threw out his hand saying it was.
Nope. That when you throw out your hands in that T position, that means it's a drop third strike. So breaking ball on the ground, batter Brito swung at it, ball landed in the dirt. Called it a drop third strike.
I thought I heard something hit a bat. Guess not. But did you hear that? It was that just me?
I think it might have been the mask.
Or maybe softball or something. I thought I heard a ball hit a bat, but
yeah.
We're gonna head to bottom 5. Rutgers still up 3-0. Michigan still in search of their first hit. It's going to be 8-9 top, Obertop, Bertram, and then back up to Rogers at the top of the order. You're listening to Michigan Baseball on WCBN Sports. It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining, getting a little bit warmer as the air comes into the broadcast booth here.
It's supposed to be a high of 55 today, a low of 39. And I woke up. It was right at that low 39. I was like, oh, gosh, just walk over here. It's going to be cold. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. Now you're getting closer to midday. You're getting closer to 48, 49. In Michigan, baby, that feels like 92. About to pull up to the beach and tan a little bit. Here in early spring, or late April, some wonderful weather.
Yeah, I know. Put on your suntan lotion and
Yep.
head out to your balcony today.
Yep. Bathe out for the babes.
Score over there at Alumni Field. Michigan's still up 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. They are up at the plate, though. Is Space Jam plays over the loudspeakers.
You excited for the LeBron Space Jam?
I am. I am pretty excited. I mean,
okay.
I like LeBron. I mean, people are skeptical of it.
Yeah.
I saw something in, like, the trailer. LeBron's writing down a bunch of lists of superheroes that he wants to help him play basketball, and people were, like, hating on him. They're like, whatever, LeBron's trying to get the most power for people, just like he did with his super teams. I was like, dude, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
Oh, that's funny. It's got a lot of expectations to live up to. The director, though, is actually a pretty good guy. Who directed Black Panther and Creed, Ryan Coogler. Should be good.
First pitch to Obertop in the bottom of the 5th is fouled back into the net. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's always fun to watch. It's hard to live up to the first one, though, man.
I've seen the original one probably 5 or 6 times. Love that movie.
Oh, yeah. That movie, Sandlot, and Remember the Titans. If you haven't seen those 3 movies, shame on you. Those are classics.
Sandlot, an all-timer, probably my favorite movie of all time is. Teller checks the wrist coach and now settles back in. He's up 0-1 on Obertop.
You know, that's got a breaking ball high there, 2-0 count, or no, 1-1 count. That's been a really popular movement in college baseball. The wristband, where the coach will give out a number or a sign. The catcher looks at the wristband, the pitcher looks at the wristband, but there's no relay system.
1-1 curveball low and away goes to 2-1.
And there's no relay system, which creates an opportunity for the catcher and the pitcher to be off footing. You know what I mean? I like get that relay system into the catcher. The catcher relays it off to the pitcher.
The 2-1 called strike low in the zone, so it's going to go 2-2. It is an interesting thing, but it also gets your fielders on the same page. They can kind of know what's coming and know what to expect. I mean, it's a lot. You play defense a lot differently when you know a curveball is coming versus a fastball.
But you start playing that too much, the batter can start seeing the curveball break hand side a little more, pull side a little more, can see an off-speed pitch coming. I just like to limit the chances and limit the ways where your pitcher and catcher are not on the same page. That happened last year. Isaiah Page came in the first game of the year against Vanderbilt. It was the first time Michigan introduced a wristband pitcher-catcher calling pitches. And I know twice Isaiah Page crossed up Joe Donovan because they were on the wrong foot,
3-2 to Obertop. Fouled towards the third base line. Michigan player leans out of the dugout, tries to throw a hand at it.
Yeah, I'm just not it's interesting to see. You don't see a lot of MLB teams doing it quite yet. Softball has been doing it for a while. Softball's been doing it for 5 or 6 years. Coach Hutch over there is always a very innovative person looking at the game of softball, as Coach Bakich is here for the baseball program.
3-2 to Obertop. Gets him chasing high in the zone. Great pitch right there from Brent Teller to ring him up. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Again, really good example of Teller switching levels, doing a really good job of switching up speeds, couple breaking balls there to Obertop, then delivers a really, 94-mile-per-hour fastball up in the zone. Very tough to chase here for Obertop. Riley Bertram, 9-hitter here. I always like the guy, 8 and 9-hitters, deliver a lot of fastballs. Obertop isn't a traditional 8-hitter. He's got a lot of power. But you're facing a 9-hitter like Bertram, who's 222 right now, those fastballs.
First pitch was a fastball inside on Bertram for called strike 1, and his last time up laid down that bunt, and eventually the first baseman pulled his foot as he hits this one. Blooper in the gap. Diving catch. Did he make it? And they're going to say he did. What a play from Slight in left field. The wind kept it up in the air and allowed Slight to cover a lot of ground, laying out to his glove side, and what a catch. Michigan can't catch a break here.
Again, I know we're talking about the wind and beating on a drum again here, but My gosh, it looked like that ball was right in the gap and just floated over to left field. And Slight had a good read on it. Nice little sliding play. Showed some great athleticism, keeping Bertram off the base pass, preserving that no-hitter.
That brings up the top of the order. Rogers trying to lay down a sneaky bunt there, but knocks it foul. The third baseman, Brito, was playing way back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he would have got it down fair, it looked like he would have reached pretty easily. He has a lot of speed, batting leadoff. Rogers walked his first time up, grounded out to second base his second time up. Still looking for his first hit and the team's first hit here in the bottom of 5. That one low in the zone, ball 1.
Yeah, Teller through 5 2/3. Still right now, 0 in the hit column for the Wolverines.
You know, one stat that we mentioned for Teller is he delivers the 1-1 and gets Rogers swinging. Count goes to 1-2. One stat we mentioned for Teller before the game that could have been a problem was his ERA was over 4. I think at like 4.04 at the start of this game. But he's kept the Wolverines scoreless and hitless now through 4 2/3 innings.
Only threw 67 pitches as well. He still got a lot left in the tank here. You get through 60 pitches in 6 innings, or 67, 68, 69 pitches through 6 innings. It's pretty darn good.
The 1-2 on the way, rides inside. They're going to check it. They say he didn't go around. That one caught Rogers off guard, kind of stepped backwards out of the way, but his hands were locked and loaded. Almost went around, but Rogers gets away with one there. Count goes 2-2.
Yeah, nice fastball. Again, high velocity right in the inside part of the plate. Almost caught Jordan Rogers swinging.
And gets him on the curveball. What a pitch from Brent Teller. Jordan Rogers completely fooled there. You saw him turn away from it, and that one just dives right back into the zone. Teller hitting all of his spots. He is locked in here at Ray Fisher Stadium.
Yeah, Brent Teller is just absolute dialed in right now. He is absolutely cooking. Just hitting spots very well, throwing a lot of really consistent strikes. It's just when you have a guy that can bring the velocity that Teller does, but also can spot a fastball, it's such a hard thing to get over. It's such a hard thing to make contact on. Because you got to square it up because he's throwing the corners, but also you got to catch up to it. Yes, they supply the power, but if you're not making good contact, it's not going to go anywhere. And right now the ball's not traveling anywhere for the Wolverines.
We are going to have a pitching change for the Michigan Wolverines. Ben Dragani is going to come in place of Denner. So Michigan decides to mix it up on the mound. It's going to be the meat of Rutgers' order, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The kind of lower half, but the half that's been producing for the Scarlet Knights. Nicer, 2 for 2. Slight, 1 for 2. And Ceruto at the bottom in that 9 slot, 2 for 2. We'll give you the quick order, 5 through 9. It's going to be Neister, Slight, Sweeney, Welsh, and as I said, rounding it out before heading back to the top of the order is Ceruto. Dragani, a 2.12 ERA on the season. He's got a record of 2-2. He's thrown only 17 innings for the Wolverines this year, but has tallied up 12 strikeouts.
Yeah, Dragani, a guy who's just been so steady for Michigan in his tenure here at the Wolverines, was actually one of the better starters on of the 2018 baseball team. Had to sit out 2019, had to sit out during the College World Series run. Actually was an ace on that 2018 team, and now it's just kind of been really struck by injuries. This year, looking better, 2.12 ERA. Kind of struggled a lot last year in the beginning of the year. Was going to be that 2 for the Wolverines, and then just really could not stay healthy. You know, pitched behind obviously the stud last year, Jeff Criswell, ended up being a second-round pick. But Dragani, good, tall, lengthy lefty, has some good stuff, a lot of good breaking action. Reminded a lot of people of Tommy Henry early on. Tommy Henry, a guy that left the program 2 years ago. Lefty with a lot of good breaking ball stuff. See what Dragani can do here with this Rutgers team. Really has looked behind, or at the dish, has looked really, really good.
Fresh count to Neister and first pitch from Dragani on the way. This one fastball rides just inside ball 1. You know, something that, Andy, you and I have mentioned a few times on our daily sports report on WCBN was the fact that just most sports, and especially baseball in general, is a lot better when injuries are in factor. You want to see your best guys playing and see the best of the best against each other. As pitch number 2 rides down into the dirt. It's going to be hitter's count for Neister.
Yeah, well, the thing with baseball, man, is that like injuries are less likely to happen. So you're so used to seeing the best guys out there to when someone does get injured, it's such a bummer. It's such like football injuries are going to happen. It's inevitable. Basketball injuries are going to happen. It's inevitable. But baseball, outside of arm issues, they don't happen all that often. So when you see a guy go down, it's such a bummer.
Dragani throws 4 straight balls to Neister, so Neister will reach for the 3rd time today. He's got now a double, a single, and a walk. Dragani, after coming in for Denner, still looking to find the zone a little bit. That first at-bat, just kind of trying to tune it in. It's going to bring up Slight. Singled his last time up. Back in the 4th inning, struck out looking his first time up. Neister with a decent lead over there at first base. Another lefty for Michigan, so the lead obviously not too big as he finds the strike zone for the first time on that fastball.
Yeah, Dragani is a guy that's got to spot his pitches. Same thing we talked about with Denner. Doesn't have electric velocity at the bump, but has a really, really nice breaking ball. So you got to spot it well, and you got to have that breaking ball break. Otherwise, as you see right there, I mean, that was like as sharp as a breaking ball as you possibly could get. Started at the top of the zone and broke down beneath the belt. Absolutely very, very good breaking ball. But he's got to do stuff like that because he's not going to produce a velocity to blow through guys. It's got to be cheeky, as we say.
0-2 on the way from Dragani. Taking a long look over there at first base and throws over. First time we've seen a Michigan pitcher throw over today. As you said, that last breaking ball, just textbook, picture perfect.
Yep.
Slight, a 291 hitter. The 0-2 on the way. Check swing. They're going to appeal it. They're going to say he didn't go. Didn't look like it from up here, but no harm in checking.
You will never, ever, ever get a guy in the B position. That's a B position for the umpires on the right side of the pitching plate or the pitching mound. You'll never get a guy who will change the call on an appeal for a check swing from what the home plate umpire gave.
Runner goes and hit hard up the middle. Sems with a position to turn 2 to get it himself. Throws it and comes up empty. The throw too high. Burton had to come off the bag. Couldn't secure it. He did apply a tag but didn't have the ball. Rutgers lucky there that Sems fumbled this throw a little bit. He was in perfect position, was coming over to cover the bag on a steal, and it got hit right to him. Rutgers almost hit into a double play there. But
really actually kind of unlucky for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. If they weren't stealing, that ball's getting up the middle, and they got first and second, no outs. Hit and run situation there. Sems covering the bag, and right where the ball was hit, it was right on top of the bag. Sims can just kind of step on the bag and throw it first. Yes, the throw did airmail, but could have first and second, no outs.
Fresh count to Sweeney. First pitch, a fastball right down the middle, called strike 1. Kind of bittersweet for Rutgers. You're happy he didn't turn a double play, but again, as you said, kind of a little annoyed he foiled your hit and run attempt.
Yep.
Slight over on first base now as this pitch popped up real high and to right field, covering a lot of ground and eventually making the catch is Clark Elliott. That ball stayed up so high. Sweeney put so much height onto it that the wind just kept pushing it and pushing it. Elliott started pretty much under the ball and then eventually ran in all the way almost to the infield.
Especially if you look at the flag right now, with the way the ball is hitting right field, it's almost coming straight inwards. And it looked like Clark Elliott never could get a good read on the ball. He kept coming in and in and in and in until eventually the ball was, he had to catch it beneath his waist. You know, he had to travel a lot there with that ball, not carrying it all out to right field. Seems like the wind has kind of shifted a little inwards.
So after the first batter reaches, as Dragani blows strike 1 by Welsh, after the first batter reaches, that's 2 outs in a row for Rutgers. Fears of potentially leaving a runner stranded on base. The 0-1 squares and shows bunt, but pulls it back last second. Welsh obviously probably not going to lay down a bunt here with 2 outs, but might have been able to get one down for a hit. Malfetta playing very deep in the hole at third base. And batting only 200, Welsh looking to do everything he can to get on base. The 1-1 goes low and bounces up into the mitt of Mazer, so count goes 2-1.
Yeah, 2-1 count here. Got to deliver a strike. Nothing too over the plate. That's going to get Welsh to drive one out to right field or left field. Put it in the gap, but you still got to deliver a strike here. Can't afford to fall behind 3-1.
Burton trying to hold Slight on close. This one hit deep towards center field, and the air kind of keeps it up. That one looked good off the bat, but eventually just rises right into the glove of Rogers. So Rutgers leaves the runner stranded, and we're going to head to the bottom of 6. Rutgers still holds that 3-0 lead.
Yeah, nice job by Dragani to come back from that first at-bat. 4 straight balls. Looked like he was going to come out here and struggle with his command, but he bounced back very well, got 3 consecutive outs. Now Wolverines got a chance to put some hits on the board. Hopefully have those hits converted into runs.
Yeah, Michigan still looking for their first hit of the day. Brent Teller has been fantastic through 5 innings of work.
Only through 72 pitches right now. 3 more innings to go. Continues to be at the pace that he's at. He's only going to throw 105, 110 pitches, which, yes, ideally for a college kid, I've never been a big fan of guys coming out there and throwing a ton of pitches. They still have very developing arms. But, hey, history's history, man. You got a chance to throw a no-no. Got to give that kid that chance.
Yeah, Teller dealing right now. Due up for Michigan is going to be 2, 3, 4, Malfetta, Elliott, and Mazer in the cleanup spot.
Yep, if you're the Wolverines, this is your chance right here. Malfetta, been driving the ball, 296 all year. Elliott, 301. Mazer there, 247, but supplies a lot of power. This is your chance for the Wolverines to put some runs up on the board. Get back in this ball game.
Michigan softball team still leading 2-0 over there in the bottom of the 6th, right across the way at Alumni Field. Michigan took both games to the doubleheader yesterday. The second one capped off with a 3-run walk-off home run from Lou Allen that she just absolutely blasted off the scoreboard. That Michigan team is rolling. Sitting at number 20 nationally in the rankings. Softball very competitive all the way through this year. The Big Ten very competitive as well. Michigan, Northwestern, and Minnesota all within about a game or 2 of each other at the top of the rankings. Michigan sitting at number 1 currently. Teller wasting no time to get into his windup, and Malfetta swings at the first pitch and pops it up. Third baseman kind of loses it in the sun for a minute, but eventually recovers, and Brito makes the play. Malfetta, after that last at-bat, we saw him have a long conversation with the home plate umpire, Brent Rice. Obviously frustrated at the plate today as he's now 0 for 3. Tried to get aggressive at pitch number 1 and just popped it up.
Yeah, again, not working the counts at all right now as the Wolverines. Again, one pitch at bat. One pitch at bat, drives a little pop-up. You got to work the counts here. Otherwise, Teller's going to go all day.
First pitch to Elliott outside. Yeah, that is the reason that, we've mentioned his pitch count a few times as it now only sits at 74, but those first pitch swings and, at-bats that only go 4 pitches and that are strikeouts have been huge for Teller.
It's happened 3 or 4 times today, too.
Pitch number 2 just low. Ceruto held it for a while. Trying to get a call, so Clark Elliott's going to have a hitter's count. His batting average still sitting over 300, but just barely at 301.
Yeah, righty-lefty matchup right here.
This one popped up towards center field all the time in the world, way back to the warning track, and that ball did not look like it had that much distance coming off the bat, but is back practically at the wall as Lasko makes the catch.
Yeah, ball just seems to be carrying today. The wind is at this point. It's kind of blowing. It's almost like it's blowing a little sideways, maybe a little outwards, but that ball just kind of seemed to carry and almost, like you said, center fielder, Lasko right at the wall, right at that 395 sign out in straightaway center.
That ball, honestly, kind of a shot if it's hit hard, but like we said, it kind of looked like a lazy pop-up as pitch number 1 to Mazer rides inside ball 1.
Again, Mazer, a guy who had a chance with bases loaded in that first inning, had that first pitch swinging approach, had that kind of chopper ground ball over to third base. I want to see him be more selective with this at-bat.
Teller's second pitch, also a ball, so 2-0 hitters count for Griffin Mazer. Infield and outfield playing pretty much straight up, no shift on for Mazer. Sem's in the on-deck circle. 2-0 is hit well towards center field. That one's going to stay up in the air and again drop right into the glove of Lasko. 1, 2, 3 inning for Brent Teller. And his campaign continues. An impressive day on the bump.
Yeah, probably the two best contacts Michigan's had all day today. Elliott driving the ball to center field right to warning track, and then Mazo just gives an absolute shot out to center field, or Mazer, excuse me. Absolute shot out to center field, right at center field, right at Laskow. Michigan hasn't been scoring the ball up all that well this game. Right there, that was a solid opportunity.
As we enter top 7, Rutgers is going to have the 9-hitter Ceruto, who's 2 for 2 on the day with a double and a single. He's also scored. Ceruto, and then the top of the order, Laskow and Scheikhofer, 1, 2, 3. Those are the first ones that are guaranteed to get up, but the way Rutgers has been hitting, it's most likely we're also going to see DiGiorgio and Burrito, if not more. Ben Dragani out there on the mound. Kept Rutgers scoreless in his first inning and worked last inning, and after throwing a 4-pitch walk in the first at-bat, has looked pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, falling behind there, 4 straight pitches in the first 4 pitches you throw in a game. To walk a batter on that, it's not ideal. But to come back from that situation, Dragani's a guy with a ton of experience. Like I said, he was around before the College World Series. He was the best pitcher on the staff the year before the College World Series. Now he's coming out this year, struggling a little bit, 2-2 on the season. ERA of 2.0. ERA is pretty darn good, actually. 2.0 ERA is pretty darn good. But Dragani's a guy that's got a lot of potential, and he's still got that big, lengthy lefty with good action. Looked good coming back from that 4-pitch walk in the first inning of his appearance.
Speaking of ERA, before the broadcast, we're talking about Major League Baseball and mentioned Jacob deGrom. He's been unbelievable.
We're talking about it, and I was having a conversation with my father about it. Jacob deGrom probably, right now, can go down as the 3rd most dominant pitcher.
Of all time.
Of all time at any point in their career. I would say behind Nolan Ryan, behind the prime of Randy Johnson, and I put deGrom 3.
First pitch from deGrom, it was a ball. Second pitch, same one, bounces up into the chest protector of Mazer. I mean, the stats deGrom has been putting up this year have been just unbelievable.
It's just stupid. The guy's throwing 99 miles per hour out of the gate. Starting pitcher throwing 99 miles per hour is insane.
Dragani still struggling to find the zone here. Count goes 3-0.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of studs that could be talked about. Clemens could be in that conversation. Sandy Koufax, Pedro Martinez, Greg Maddux. But deGrom has been so good the last 3 years.
Another 4-pitch walk from Dragani, and Ceruto is going to head on down to first base without having to do too much work, and that's going to bring up Laskow. He's 1 for 2 on the day, grounded out his first time up, hit a home run. And his second time up, that monster shot over the left field wall, and then back in the 5th inning, worked himself a walk.
Again, this is the type of day, if you're Laskow, you're loving it. 2 straight lefties coming in, a power-hitting right-handed guy, a guy where you're a situation where you're already on top of the ball. Another lefty coming out here. Laskow's got to love it.
Finally finding the strike zone is Dragani, as there's the first strike in the last 5 pitches. Ceruto with a tight lead over there on first base. Dragani a lefty, so got to be wary of the pickoff move. 0-1 is hit deep again. This one with all sorts of air under it, covering a lot of ground in left field is Flores, and then landing in the Michigan bullpen is that one. There's a little bit of action. Not too sure who it is. Laskow went golfing for that one. Big uppercut swing, and the wind just pushed that one foul. I don't think it would have had the distance to get out, but a healthy cut. Dragani way out in front, though. 0-2 now. A little bit of a shift on. Bertram playing just a few steps to the right of second base. 0-2 swung on and chopped back to the net. On deck, batter Scheikhofer goes over to recover the ball. Scheikhofer himself struggling at the plate today, 0 for 3. Score still sits at 2-0 over at Alumni Field in the bottom of the 6th. Michigan looking to close out the 3rd game of a 4-game series.
Get that sweep. They win the first game?
They lost game number 1 on Friday night. They struggled to hit the ball as Dragani throws over. Struggled to hit the ball until a Taylor Bump solo home run. That was Michigan's only 1 of 2 hits and only run of that game. 0-2 on the way to Laskow. Hit hard down the third base line, but foul. So we're going to go 0-2 again for now. the 5th pitch of this at-bat. Lasko doing a nice job fighting off, just waiting for his pitch that he wants.
That's all you got to do with 0-2. Yeah, shorten the length of the bat, choke up a little bit, and just put the ball in play. Make contact, foul off these tough pitches. Then once a pitcher leaves a pitch over the plate, that's where you take advantage.
Lasko choking up about an inch on that bat.
Yeah, I really don't think Dragani's going to give him a pitch to hit, especially a guy that's already done damage today. 2-run home run, 307 hitter, really, really solid leadoff guy. Give this guy a chance to hit any solid pitch. Lasko will do something dangerous with it.
After throwing a ball for the first time on that last pitch, Dragani back to the glove here, leaves this one over the plate, but just poked foul. That one looks like it hit the outside corner.
Yeah, nice change up there. Switching levels again. Fastball up, previous pitch. This one delivered that low changeup. Gets Lasko on his front foot. It's exactly what you want to do with a good power hitter like this. Get him thinking a little bit. Get him off balance. You do that by switching levels and switching speeds.
Big strike zone for Lasko as he stands pretty upright in his stance. The 1-2's hit deep towards center field, or looked like it coming off the bat, but just blows way in, and eventually coming up and catching it right on the block M is Rogers. That one coming off the bat looked pretty good, but just went sky high and kept up in the air by this wind.
Yeah, nice little beat there by Rogers, too. He definitely, at first, he was kind of jogging in a little bit, because like you kind of just talked about, we thought it was a little deeper. Then you started seeing him sprinting inwards. I think the ball's blown in even just a little bit there. Again, the wind's doing some weird things today. Started out dead beat, drop out to left field. And now it's kind of starting to come inwards and sideways.
So after eventually getting through that at-bat, Dragani goes back on the attack against Scheikhofer. 1 out, 1 runner on as that pitch rides up near the chin of Scheikhofer. Count goes 1-0. Weather's been a little weird today. It's been cold and warm, but it's been sunny the whole time. Makes for a pleasant viewing experience if you're a fan here at Ray Fisher Stadium as pitch number 2 goes low in the dirt.
Like I said, 50 degrees in Michigan in April. That's like 80 degrees anywhere else. Take what we can get here in the Great Lakes State.
Yeah, 50 degrees in April is some beautiful weather to watch some baseball. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
2-0 hitters count, hit on the ground over towards second base. Oh, it looks like
it's off his batter's foot.
Yeah, I was going to say that one took a weird hop. Burton ran over to it and then ended up falling as it went back towards his glove hand.
Yep. Dead ball, foul ball there.
Burton, Bertram, and Dragani all ran over towards that ball before realizing that it was, in fact, a dead ball. So here we go. 2-1 count for Scheikhofer. Still looking for his first hit of the day. This one right down the pipe, popped up. Isn't foul territory. Malfetta running over for it and eventually just tails foul and out of the stadium, bouncing over into the side parking lot. A little kid runs over there looking for a souvenir.
Yeah, Malfetta trying to bust over there, trying to get that play. Again, the wind blowing inwards, a little left, so it blew way out of the playing field here for Michigan.
2-2, the count sits even. 1 runner still on. Ceruto over on first base. This one low in the dirt off the chest protector of Mazur, but doing a nice job running around the batter Scheikhofer to grab that ball and toss it back up.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, with Mazur, obviously most catchers, all catchers are right-handed. Blocking to the left side, blocking to the glove side is very, very difficult. It's hard to scoop around the ball without having your arm flare out to have that little hole there. You know, be able to block glove side is so big, especially a left-handed pitcher throwing a curveball is going to your glove side.
Full count from Dragani rings him up. Great pitch on the outside corner. After a long at-bat, Ben Dragani comes out on top. That's going to be 2 outs.
Big pitch. That was a huge. Mazur, again, sticking that right on the outside of the plate. Nice little frame there. Turn that glove inwards, keeping it right on the outside of the plate. Very, very well executed pitch there by Dragani. A great frame by Mazur. So unappreciated art here in baseball is a frame. The frame job of a catcher is huge.
DeGiorgio steps up to the plate now. Yeah, Mazur, great job there. Mazur's doing a nice job of catching that ball with kind of the palm of his glove, so the majority of it still hangs over in that strike zone.
Yep. It's all about turning that wristwards in, so the majority of the glove is hanging in the strike zone. Might not be where you caught it, but the majority of the glove looks like it delivered a strike.
1-0 towards DeGiorgio, hit hard on the ground towards Malfetta, makes the easy play at second base, and Rutgers held scoreless again. We're going to head to the bottom of 7. This one's still in favor of the Scarlet Knights, though. 3-0 stands the score. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball.
Yeah, nice play there by Malfetta. Absolute rope. Hit right at him. Dropped down to one knee, got in front of it, and delivered a nice little strike over to Brigham. That's exactly what you got to do in the hot corner over there, especially off the turf. Skips really quickly. You get a lot of hard hit balls that skip like that. Got down to one knee, scoop it up, throw it over to second base. Nice little play. Key play there. Keeping this lead at 3-0 here.
We saw Brito make an error for Rutgers in that first inning.
Right.
Just, I guess, didn't realize the speed at which the ball comes to you. No difference between, whether you're playing on a dirt field or a turf field. They call it the hot corner for a reason.
Right.
You got plenty of time, but especially on the turf, that ball's going to come to you at crazy speeds.
Right.
If you can field it clean, you've got all the time in the world.
It's the best thing, and the proponent why people put in turf fields, you don't get those hops. You don't get those uneven, unbalanced hops all the time, inconsistent hops. But, man, it changes the dynamic of baseball. You see it out in Toronto all the time. They're actually not playing in Toronto this year because of COVID. But typically in Toronto, when the ball pops up in the air and the entire field is turf, like it is here at Ray Fisher in Toronto, you get those balls that come down with these bloopers. They bounce so high in the air. Outfielders have to play the ball differently. Infielders have to play the ball differently with that skip action. It changes the concept of baseball. And I don't know if Rutgers field is turf or not, but they've had 3 games to work on that, or 2 games to work on that. You think by now they'd be used to it, and then the infield settled down a little bit from that first inning. Those errors were very unnecessary.
Personally, I enjoy, grass and dirt fields better than turf, but if you have the choice between a turf field or a grass field not really kept in great maintenance and has a lot of uneven hops, I'll take the turf field 10 times out of 10 just for consistency's sake. But Here comes Benjamin Sems, 0 for 2 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Brent Teller's really had his number in this one as ball 1 goes upstairs.
Yeah, I'm all about the dirt field too. I like especially the dirt part of it. Actually, the dirt part here still also is turf. It just got a brown color to it. I like actual dirt and then grass in the inner diamond.
Pitch number 2 rides up near the head of Benjamin Sems. Quick ducks out of the way over at Alumni Field. That is turf, except the infield dirt is in fact dirt and clay and whatever else you want to mix in there. 2-0 hitters count to Sems. Catches the top of the zone for strike 1. That one a fastball right up top. Sems asked a quick question of the umpire. Thought it was a little high. Looked pretty good from up here.
2 strikes, or a 2-1 count here. Got to put the ball in play here for Sems.
Again, Teller misses upstairs. 3-1 hitters count for Benjamin Sems here. You can tell Teller's trying to strike out Sems again. He would be 3 for 3 on those. He's throwing a little harder than he has in the past couple innings.
Looks like Brent Teller in the dugout was a little offbeat.
Gets him swinging on the 3-1. Just pumped a fastball right down the plate. I mean,
absolute gas.
Sems got the pitch he wanted, but just couldn't keep up with the speed.
Yeah, Teller, that's twice in this at-bat where Teller's had to ask for the signs to be recycled so he can get a new fresh sign in.
Full count, and this one misses low, so Sems reaches base for the first time today against Brent Teller. Works a full count walk.
It's the first base runners for the Wolverines since the first inning, or since second inning, correct?
It's been a while.
Yep, we had an error in the second inning. Teller's been just mowing guys down consecutively, for the Scarlet Knights.
Flores popped up to right field his first time up, grounded out to shortstop back in the 4th inning. Looking to reach base for the first time. Sems over there on first has a pretty decent lead as pitch number 1 misses outside.
Yeah, for the Wolverines right here, you're down 3 runs. So the difference between first base and second base is nothing at all. That run necessarily doesn't matter. You want to have more opportunities to limit your outs. So keep the guy on base. No reason to steal here.
1-0. Osby just misses inside. Good frame by Ceruto trying to get that one back into the zone, but the umpire not fooled, so it's going to be a 2-0 hitters count for Tito Flores up next. On deck is Burton. The 2-0 to Flores is swung on and popped up in no man's land between second and right field. Welsh doing a nice job covering a lot of ground, opening up those hips to get back to that ball. So
yeah, not a great approach there for Tito Flores. 2-0 pitch. You got if it's 2-0 or 3-1, you're looking for a pitch that you can drive. High end and fastball for Tito. Not a pitch that many kids, especially against a guy like Teller who's throwing 93, 94. Not a pitch that most guys can drive. Usually you wait another pitch, find out something you like. Not a great approach there for Tito. And that's kind of been the story of Michigan baseball the entire game.
Ted Burton up to the plate now. Watches the off-speed go by for a called strike one, hitting .333 with runners on base, .296 overall. Sems with a long, lanky frame, has decent speed at second base, can get around the bases, or at first base rather, can get around. This one hit in the gap towards left and center. This one back to the wall. Does it have the distance? Up and gone! A 2-run shot from Ted Burton. And Michigan finds their first hit and first 2 runs of this ball game.
The first hit of the game, and Ted Burton puts it over the left center wall. Caught in this lead to 3-2 for the Wolverines. Great approach there by Ted Burton. Saw a breaking ball early in the count. Saw the fastball that he wanted. Got his hips, got his hands through, and absolutely drove it out to left center. Wolverines, baby, right back in the ball game.
I mean, that one was no doubt. As soon as it went off his bat, it was up in the air, and it was just a matter of when it was going to land. Burton absolutely smokes that ball.
Huge.
And the Wolverines
exactly what the
now
Michigan
within
needed.
striking distance.
Exactly what the Wolverines needed to get back in this ball game. Now with a guy like Overtop off here, guy that can do the exact same thing.
First real mishap we've seen from Teller today. There goes the no-hitter.
Curious to see what Rutgers does with Teller now the rest of the game. He's given up 2 runs, no hitters no longer intact. Really the only damage Michigan's got off him is that home run. So you're still confident that he can deliver a good ball game, but now you start to worry about the pitch count, getting upwards of 90 pitches right now. Curious to see what they do.
Count sits at 1-1 for Jimmy Overtop. 1 out, no runners on base after the bases clearing home run from Ted Burton just moments ago.
2 strikes here on Jimmy Overtop. 1-2. Both pitches have been a breaking ball that Teller has produced. So maybe comes to the fastball here up and in. He's got Overtop out on his front foot. Little unbalanced. See if he comes to the fastball here.
The 1-2. Fastball indeed, and Overtop follows it off. Nice quick hands just throwing him at that one. He was well behind it, but put a bat on the ball to keep this at-bat alive.
Again, batters know in that situation. The reason why I'm calling these pitches right, because everybody in the world knows this was coming. You have 2 breaking balls low and away. Fastball's coming up top next. Jimmy Overtop knew that. That's how he was able to foul that bad boy off.
The 1-2 just misses inside. It might have been a little high. It looked like a good pitch from up here. Overtop doing a nice job sticking in there and not being afraid and ducking out of the way.
Yeah, I think that pitch crossed a little inside there for Teller.
2-2 to Overtop now. And rings him up looking. That one looked pretty similar to the last one. Overtop thought so as well. But Teller gets him staring, and that's going to be 2 outs as Riley Bertram approaches now.
Yeah, that pitch looked literally exactly the same for me, Charlie. It looked very similar.
I couldn't tell the difference.
I think that same pitch right there broke at the inside part of the plate. Okay, see, like we said, we're a little closer to the third base side, so we don't have an exact angle behind home plate. But you can tell based off the catcher's reaction whether the glove's moving inwards or outwards. Sure looked like the catcher moved a lot there for that pitch.
Catcher moves his glove a lot there for that one as that one goes outside. Riley Bertram in that left-handed batter's box. 0 for 2 on the day. Reached on error back in the second. Lined out to left in his last time up. This one hit well to right field, but that one's going to go right to the right fielder, Scheikhofer. So we're going to head to the top of the 8th inning, but not before Michigan scores its first 2 runs of the game on a 2-run home run from Ted Burton. And, man, was that ball crushed.
Yeah, big opportunity there for the Wolverines, getting 2 off of Teller, a guy that's been really in control this entire game. And when I say in control, that's an understatement because this guy had a no-hitter going with that at-bat. And, you know, like you said, big drive there for Burton, giving Michigan 2 runs. Making this a ball game now. Now, key, the bullpen coming out here, keeping the lead exactly where it's at. And the Wolverines, can they capitalize late in the game? We'll see.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. We do have a pitching change, so Ben Dragani does what he needs to do. And Michigan, like you said, going to the bullpen now. Out on the mound, it is going to be Blake Beers.
This has always been a thing for Eric Bakich. He does this quite often. He did it a lot during the College World Series run, where he has his 3 or 4 best pitchers. Yes, they were all his starters, but he continually uses his best pitchers. Willie Weiss is really the only guy that comes out of the bullpen that's not exactly, using that starter role. Blake Beers on the season this year, hasn't exactly been super dominant, 7.11 ERA, but he started a couple games. He has 5 starts this year. Talked about Dragani. Dragani's got 2 starts, 6 appearances. We saw it a lot in the College World Series run between the 3 studs, Carl Kaufman, Tommy Henry, and Jeff Criswell. Really, besides those 3 guys, the only guy that really jumped on the bump much was Isaiah Page. And he uses his best pitchers continuously. He's doing that here with Blake Beers. Again, using a starter in the bullpen role.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Not really trying to ride with one guy, not scared to go to the bullpen and not scared to you guys in roles that they wouldn't typically be in.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be 4-5-6 for Rutgers. Brito is up first. He's 0 for 3 today with 3 strikeouts. Struck out looking in the first, swinging in the third, and the fifth. Rutgers with plenty more hits than the Wolverines, but only 1 more run. Rutgers sits in the lead with 3 runs on 6 hits, and Michigan 2 runs on 1 hit. That 1 hit, the 2-run blast from Burton.
Still, the difference in the game right now. You have 3 errors committed by the Scarlet Knights, 2 of them which were in the same inning. You had bases loaded, no outs, and you weren't able to convert a single run out of that situation. It's been the difference right now for the Wolverines.
I mean, I guess it speaks to just the excellence of Teller, throughout those. That's the first mistake, really, on that home run from Ted Burton. Other than that, he'd been pretty much lights out.
Again, Brito up to bat here. Big, powerful right-handed hitter. You see 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond, with Bertram playing about a step left of second base.
First pitch from Beers, low in the dirt rolls to the backstop. First right-handed pitcher we've seen from Michigan today.
And Beers brings a little more power to the bump. Can hit about 91, 92 at points.
1-0 to Brito. This one swung on and hit towards Benjamin Sems. Takes an awkward hop, but he makes the play, throws it over to first base, and what a play by Burton over at first base. The throw from Sems led him off the bag, but he came off, grabbed it, secured the ball, made sure to grab the ball first, and laid down a nice sweeping tag onto Brito. So he goes to 0-4 now.
Yep, really nice play there by Burton. We talked about it earlier. You get thrown off the bag, you got to catch it and swipe that tag. Really nice play there by Brito as well, trying to slip under the tag. He slid there really, really late, realizing the throw was offline. But luckily, Burton had the athleticism to throw down that tag on Brito, getting a big out for the Wolverines.
So Beers gets through his first at-bat. It's Neister up next. Neister 2 for 2 on the day as a double in the second inning. A single back in the fourth, scored that inning as well and walked his next time up. Swings on pitch number 2 and launches it foul into the parking lot.
Yeah, Beers, like I said, a guy with a little bit more power. As long as he keeps his command fine, Blake Beers could be a really good pitcher for the Wolverines. Had a chance last year. He started a couple Sunday games for the Wolverines.
1-1 from Beers. This one hit in the gap between second and first. They were playing the shift, and Neister punishes him for it. That's his second single of the day. He's 3 for 3.
Yeah, Neister, again, just finding holes today. Not necessarily hitting the ball very hard. Had a blooping single over right field, turned into a double, hits one out to left field, and then puts that one right between the first base and second base gap, beating the shift. Just finding ways to get on base. That's baseball right there. More often than not, the guys that get the most hits aren't necessarily hitting the ball the hardest. They're finding gaps. That's exactly what Neister's done today.
I mean, you can have a good day at the plate as slight swings on pitch number 1, but to no avail. You can have a good day at the plate and not get on base at all. If you're hitting the ball hard, I think of that as a productive day at the plate, but, Neister, as he said, just finding gaps, putting the ball in play.
That's why I love that contact average percentage stat, that the percent of times that would be converted to a hit on the time of the exact hitting scenario. It's interesting to see. If a guy hits an absolute rope, he's got like an 800% chance of getting a hit. Or 800% chance, an 0.800. 80% chance of getting a hit.
MLB's next-gen stats are
unbelievable.
always fun to watch.
It's unbelievable.
Always fun to look at and just marvel at. The 1-1 on the way from Blake Beers. This one rides just inside. Mazer tried to frame it, but umpire Brent Rice is set on his decision. 2-1 count for Slight here in the top of the 8th. Rutgers still holds that 3-2 lead. 2-1 from Blake Beers. Right down the pipe, but a little bit low. Count's going to go 3-1. Slight's going to have a hitter's count when he steps back in.
Same thing we talked about earlier here, Charlie. 3-1 count, you got to deliver a strike, but it cannot be right over the plate. You know, Slight is looking for a ball that he can drive out to right field. You got to find a pitch here where you can locate it on the corner or keep him off balance with an off speed.
That one walks him. That one bounced almost before the dirt in the front circle.
Just trying to overpower him right there. That's all Blake Beers tried to do. He knew he had to deliver a fastball. He thought, if I'm going to throw it over the plate, I got to overpower him. And just releases that ball way too late and overthrows that ball like crazy down in the dirt. It looked like that it hit Slight, but they didn't call a dead ball. So first and second here, 1 out. Infield fly rule is still intact. If you're Blake Beers here, all you're trying to do is roll a grounder. Get out of this inning.
Sweeney up to the plate now. 2 runners on, 1 in scoring position with only 1 out. He pops this one up. It is going to go foul.
Infield fly
and eventually goes back in. And Burton, what a play. That ball stayed in the air so long and had all sorts of movement. Burton ran around Slight at first base into foul territory, read it there, and then eventually chased it back into fair territory and dove at it. But eventually made the catch.
See, that's the thing with fly balls in the infield, too. There's so much spin on the ball. Because when you drive it out to the left field, it's not as much percentage spin because it's more of a square away contact. So when you get balls that are hit in the infield, it's such a high launch angle in the air that there's so much spin on it. So the ball moves like crazy. And with the wind already blowing the way it is, that ball's moving absolutely crazy. So Burton to make a catch on that. Great play. Great play.
Rutgers now with 2 outs and 2 runners on as Welsh steps up. 0 for 2 on the day. And a sacrifice back in the 4th inning. Looking to make something happen here. 1-0 count from Beers. This one low in the dirt, scooped up by Mazer.
Yeah, Beers having a hard time with his fastball command right now. Not able to find it quite right now. Maybe sometimes you got to take a mile per hour or 2 off that fastball and try to locate it. You still got to throw. You still got to deliver the pitch, but you got to find that accuracy.
Hitters count for Welsh now. That one
there it is.
Right down Broadway. Strike 1. Eventually finds command of that fastball. Going back to that last play, Burton has just showed some great athleticism in this one. I mean, he's done a great job of getting off first base when he needs to on some sloppy throws from Benjamin Sems a few times and just able to stick with the play as Blake Beers steps off.
Right. I was still so impressed that throw, that Neister double that drove down the right field line. He had to retract about 30 steps backwards and throw it over to second base. Almost got Neister on that double. Very impressive.
Yeah, Burton's having a day. Defensively has been stellar, and obviously Michigan's only hit on a 2-run home run.
Charlie got a beat right on that ball, sitting right in the middle of the road. After this game, we got to dart over there and collect that bad boy.
That little kid might be over there. He's been all over everything that goes that way.
That little sucker will get it first. He'll get it.
2-2 count from Blake Beers on the way. This one swung on and hit hard over towards Burton, but solid as a rock at first base. Michigan gets out of this one and strands 2 runners on as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Rutgers still holds the lead, though, but Michigan has the top of their order up.
Yeah, great defensive inning there for Ted Burton. All 3 of those plays he had a huge impact on. Obviously, hard hit ground ball right at him right there. Got down, kept the ball in front of him, delivered the out, good little put out. And then, that swipe tag was a great play, and he caught that on, fly ball to first base himself there. Good inning by Ted Burton to convert on all 3 of those plays. In a day where the effects are kind of weird, the wind's blowing a little bit, everything seems a little more hard with it being cold out there, so there's more skips, infield's harder. People are making a lot of errors today. 3 errors for the Rutgers, but Ted Burton had himself a swell day with the glove.
Quick game recap. Both teams went scoreless for the first 2. Rutgers eventually scored 2 runs in the third, coming off a monster home run from Lasco in that starting spot. Go to the bottom of that half that inning. Michigan still scoreless. Rutgers tacked on one more in the top of the fourth on a fly ball tag. Close play at home that Michigan eventually ended the inning on, doubling up the runner, advancing from second to third, and kind of a questionable base running decision from Rutgers. Michigan still scoreless through the next 3. Eventually, in the bottom half of the 7th inning, Ted Burton launches a home run in the left center gap for Michigan's first hit and first 2 runs of this one.
Yeah, you're still seeing Brent Teller out in the ball game right now. Delivered 98 pitches here. Now on the top of the bottom of the 8th. Still seeing them chucking out there. Curious to see how long he goes out there. There's a couple, looks like there's lefty up in the Rutgers bullpen. Curious to see how short of a leash Teller has out here right now, especially with the Wolverines. Top of the lineup, you get guys on base. You know, we know Rogers got some speed. We know Elliott's got some speed. You get these guys on base right now. You know, you might want to go to that left-handed bullpen, especially with the Wolverines. You got Elliott, lefty coming up. Sems, who's a lefty coming up. That's where you might see that lefty come in.
Teller not wasting any time, going straight to the windup, and that ball just goes foul.
Again, first pitch swing again. Jordan Rogers. That one was, you know, fastball low and away, put it the other way. Threw his hands out there, like you said. Just foul. Easy could have been a double there for the Wolverines.
That stays fair. That's a great piece of hitting from Jordan Rogers. I mean, he got the fastball he wanted and didn't try to do too much with it. Like you said, just threw his hands at it. That ball, unluckily for Michigan, just barely goes foul. So the 0-1, Teller stays away from that fastball, comes right back with the breaking ball, breaks across the face of Rogers, and the count now sits at 0-2. It's plate protection time for Jordan Rogers.
Yeah, you can tell that the Wolverines' focus today at the dish is just staying on top of that fastball because they have not done much when the breaking ball comes around. You can tell they're trying to sit fast on the fastball right now, trying to deliver shots. That's what Burton took deep. But when that breaking ball comes, you got to sit fastball and adjust curve. The Wolverines today have not adjusted that curveball all that well.
0-2, check swing high in the zone. They're going to say he did not go. It didn't look like it from up here. So count's going to go 1-2. Rogers has struggled a little bit with the strikeout so far this year, has 13 total. Sorry, make it 14 after his last at-bat. Follows the 1-2 off backwards into the parking lot. Those cars back there are getting some work today.
Never park around the ball field. Never.
Oh, I parked about as far away as I could.
If I'm parking, I'm like, I got to be a couple hundred yards away.
Swings on the 1-2, dribbles it softly towards first base. The speed of Rogers showing off and beats it out. That one's going to go down as a hit, most likely.
Yep, another good little example of Michigan baseball using their legs to give them the advantage. DeGiorgio, again, he's just been a little off with the glove today. DeGiorgio didn't have the greatest beat early on that. Allowed 2 separate hops. Sometimes, I think it was 3 separate hops. Sometimes you got to cut that hop off. You got to limit the hops. Saves timing so much, especially if a guy like Rogers, you got to charge hard as you can. Rogers beat that one out, giving the Wolverines a chance here to tie this ball game up.
And no outs, 1 runner on. That's going to bring Christian Malfetta to the plate. Malfetta 0 for 3 on the day, looking for his first one. And Rutgers is going to call timeout. They're going to have a quick meeting on the mound. There's 2 pitchers down there in the bullpen getting some action. Could potentially see Brent Teller come out of this one. He's had a long day so far. I mean, we're in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's throwing a lot of pitches. His pitch count has exceeded 100. So
no sign of the bullpen yet for Rutgers. 103 pitches for Teller. Sometimes it gets to a point where, hey, you got to think about the rest of the season. Rutgers, solid baseball team, has played a good series here in Ann Arbor. You never know when you got a chance to compete for a Big Ten championship.
Michigan still down by 1. Brent Teller will stay out there on the bump, at least for a little while longer. I mean, besides that home run to Ted Burton, like we mentioned, he has been dominating these Michigan hitters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rutgers right now sitting in the middle of the pack of the Big Ten. Get a chance to play for the Big Ten tournament. You want to make sure your arm's as fresh as possible. A guy like Brent Teller here throwing 103 pitches after this bat, could be upwards of 110. You never know if that arm's going to wear away later in the season.
Above average day for Teller. 8 strikeouts, had a no-hitter going through 6, and honestly most of 6 is we're going to have a quick timeout.
Eric Bakich calling time himself. You don't see this a lot from hitters, or from the fielding team, the hitting team, When you have situations like this where everybody's calling time, both the first base and third base coaches and all of the base runners coming in and the hitter and the leadoff hitter, you don't see it happen often a lot. But Eric Bakich is a very strategic guy. He loves to try new things. We saw it earlier with the rollover plays on bunt situations, first base coming in, third base coming in, second and short covering the first and third base bag. They're very, very strategic in the situations, scenarios that they are presented with. Curious to see what they do here with the 2-hitter and your leadoff hitter on first base. You bunt, move them over. Do you steal them? Curious to see what the Wolverines and Bakich got in store here.
I think Bakich has done more than enough to show everybody that he is, in fact, a great coach on this Michigan.
He's a very, very popular candidate every single year for down south schools. Great coach. Put himself in situations to go to the College World Series. Went to Game 3 against Vanderbilt. Guy's done a phenomenal job here in the Maize and Blue.
Malfetta squares to bunt and can't quite get it down. That one goes off the bottom of his bat and rolls backwards. It'd be a major heartbreak to see him leave for Michigan, but
he loves Michigan himself. He's done such a great job. He's embraced, the life of a northern school. He's got the slogan, you'll never be hot if you don't know the cold. He's embraced the difficulties that northern baseball brings, and he's excelled with them.
Teller throws over to first base. Nice move. Again, showing it off, but Rogers using his speed to get back with plenty of time.
Bakich himself went to East Carolina University, a pretty solid baseball program. Qualified for the Super Regionals in the last baseball tournament.
Rogers goes. Malfetta swings on and pops it up foul. Another hit-and-run attempt from Michigan.
Yep, hit and run scenario there. For Malfetta, you want to put it on the right side of the diamond. Actually, again, right there, the shortstop covered the bag there. Like I said, it's usually the opposite. Usually, the opposite side of the diamond, the right-handed hitter to the second baseman covers the bag. Left-handed hitter to the shortstop covers the bag. But Rutgers has been doing it opposite today. Must be, like I said, an advanced analytic that they're seeing.
Malfetta pops up the 0-2. This one sits in the infield for a long time. Eventually coming over is DeGiorgio to make the play. That one moved all over the place. DeGiorgio is right there as well as Sweeney coming from opposite corners of the infield. Also probably has something to do with the fact that Clark Elliott's over there on first base. I mean, you got to try to hold him tight with Sweeney. And, if Welsh does go cover the second base, the entire right side of the infield left wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of speed over there.
My apologies, Matt. Rogers over there as Clark Elliott steps up to the plate.
Yeah, Elliott, last at bat, drove the ball to center field, sat in the warning track. Clark Elliott, guy with a lot of power. Early on last year, showed a lot of glimpses against Arizona State, Vanderbilt. Showed a lot of chances that, experience that power.
Going to have another meeting on the mound. That last at bat from Elliott, one of the weirder hit balls we've seen today.
Yeah.
What looked like just a routine fly ball coming off the bat, just kind of kept carrying, and eventually the center fielder Lasco caught it with basically his back to the wall in center field at 395.
Yep, second mound visit of the inning means the pitcher needs to be taken out. And now we're seeing Justin Sinibaldi coming out of the bullpen, left-handed pitcher for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Going to lefty-lefty action here with Clark Elliott, the left-handed batter. Like we said, with Sems coming up, also a lefty. Working the scenarios here is Rutgers baseball.
Yeah, first time we're going to see a lefty for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights today. But what a performance for Teller so far.
Yeah. Really, the only damage put against him was that drive that Ted Burton hit out the left field. Besides that, he was pretty dominant today. Had really, really good fastball command. Had a great breaking ball that kept Wolverines hitters off balance all day. Like I said, when you're a short righty like that, you're not necessarily marketable in the pro draft. You don't have the natural characteristics that left-handed pitchers have, that advantage. But when you are lacking in size and you're not exactly, super exciting stuff for the righty, you got to bring the power, and you got to have a breaking ball that can keep batters off balance. And really, Teller had that all day today. Like I said, besides that strike, Brett Teller had himself a pretty darn good outing.
Sinibaldi stepping up now at 6.92 ERA on the season, a 1.38 WHIP, as well as chucking in 12 strikeouts. And look to close the work that Teller started.
Yeah, if you look at Brent Teller's final line, he went 7 1/3 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts, tailing 106 pitches. Of course, those 2 earned runs coming on that absolute shot from Ted Burton. Great game. Absolute great start for Teller here today.
Fantastic, even. Michigan going to look to put one more across here. They have a base runner on with one run from tying. One or more than one to only be 3 outs away from a win here as a home team. If they were to make it through the top of the 9th inning in the lead, obviously that would be game.
Right. Yeah, Justin Sinibaldi, lefty, 1.38 WHIP on the season, 0-0 record, 6.92 ERA, 13 innings on the season. So hasn't jumped himself off to a great 2021 campaign. You lefty like that, you provide yourself a lot of power, but any lefties, man, like I said, these right-handed hitters, you come up over top, these guys can drive the ball. 6.92 ERA hasn't been exactly stellar so far this season. See what Clark Elliott can do here in the lefty-lefty matchup.
Clark Elliott stepping into the box. He's 0 for 3 on the day. As he said, flew out to center field his last time up, one that honestly almost made it out. Rogers over there on first base dancing around a little bit. Sinibaldi delivers to the plate. This one hit to center field well, but settling under it is Lasco, and he makes the catch. Tosses it back in. Elliott took a decent cut at that one.
Yeah, Clark, man, he's making good contact. He's just getting under the ball just a little too much. Good contact out to the center field again, hitting the ball up the middle. Huge key, a huge indicator of a good hitter is whether you can hit the ball up the middle or not. Clark Elliott doing a good job of driving shots out the center, just a little too far under him.
Mazur stepping up to the plate now, 0 for 3 on the day as well. Hit his last ball well. Michigan doesn't need a big swing here. I mean, a home run would take the lead, but really all you need is that run on first base. You just want one to tie it and send it into the 9th inning.
Curious to see if Eric Bakich have Rogers running here on first base. Get Rogers to scoring position, and if he gets out, well, then you have your 4-hitter. You have a cleanup hitter due up next inning to start the inning. Curious to see what's going on. Bakich maybe has in mind there with Rogers at first. A lot of wheels. 5 stolen bases on the season.
We've seen a few attempted hit and runs today from Michigan as Sinibaldi throws over. We've seen a few attempted hit and runs, and I mean, a well-placed ball with Rogers' speed, and if he gets a good jump on a hit and run, could potentially score from first base.
Right. Absolutely. Put the ball in the gap here, put the ball down the line. Definitely got a chance with Rogers there.
1-0 count from Mazur. Bat hovering over that right shoulder. The delivery, this one hit in the gap between second and third, way deep in the outfield, and miscommunication between Brito and DeGiorgio. Brito looked like he could have cut that off if he wanted to, but kind of slowed down a bit, and he's going to reach on an infield single. Two runners on now for Michigan.
That's got to be Brito's ball every single time. That ball's hit so far in the gap and they're so deep in the third shortstop gap. He's got to cut that ball off. It's so much easier for him to move his momentum closer to first base than it is for DeGiorgio, the shortstop, to have his momentum shifting away from first. He's got to make that play at third base.
At least from our angle, it looked like Brito could have gotten to it. I mean, he took the right angle to start. It just kind of looked like he slowed up.
Right.
But
naturally, Brito was hugging the line with the defensive alignment, protecting against that pole. But still, you got to bust it over to cut that off and make the play there.
Benjamin Sims stepping up to the plate now. Quick steps out and asks for a redo on the sign. Sims 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out his first 2 times up. Walked in the 7th and was eventually knocked in on the 2-run shot from Ted Burton.
Yeah, Sims here. Big opportunity. 333 hitter. Puts the ball in play here. Any base hit, you would assume Rogers is getting home. Big at bat here. See what he does.
Check swing from Sims. They're going to say he didn't go. Again, as we mentioned earlier, with the umpire in that B position, back behind the pitcher's mound instead of on his spot at third base.
Yep.
Very rare that he overturns
Right.
that
He
call.
essentially has the exact same angle that the guy behind the plate does. He's never, ever going to overturn that call. But, hey, if you're your pitching team, might as well check.
1-0 swing from Sems hit well towards right field, back to the warning track and back to the wall is Scheikhoffer, but falls into his glove. So Michigan heads to the top of the ninth, leaving 2 runners on and down by 1. Rutgers, as we head to top 9, up top, 3-2.
Yeah, it was an absolute drive there by Sems. Great contact once again. I thought they had a chance to go. Gets caught at the warning track. That's twice for the Wolverines. They're starting to square the ball up a little bit. They're starting to get confidence. Big shot there. I thought they had a chance to go.
It was a really good swing from Benjamin Sems. Honestly, the best swing we've seen from him today. Those first 2 at-bats from where he struck out were kind of frugal attempts. I mean, especially that first one. Waved at 3 breaking balls. Worked a good at-bat in his 3rd time up to walk and eventually score off the home run by Ted Burton. But here we go. In the top of the 9th, we do have another pitching change for Michigan. It's Willie Weiss taking the mound, the righty.
Yeah, the dominant junior here. Gatorade Player of the Year of the state of Oregon out of his freshman year. Had high expectations coming into this Michigan ball club in 2019. Had trouble with his command early, but, man, as the years have gone on, Willie Weiss has been quite the prospect, quite the pitcher here for the Wolverines. This year so far, 1.23 ERA, 4-1 on the season. It's been pretty darn good. A lot of power, a lot of pop coming into that glove when you see Willie Weiss on the bump.
Yeah, and only 14.2 innings pitched has notched 25 strikeouts.
Yeah. Yeah, Willie Weiss. You don't have to worry about providing the power if you're a batter because Willie Weiss will provide that power for you.
It's going to be 9 then top due up for Rutgers, but honestly the scariest part of this order. Ceruto 2 for 2 on the day with a double, a single, and a walk. Lasko up next. He has that home run that put Rutgers way out in front, the 2-run home run, and Scheikhoffer up 3rd. As Mazer throws down. Willie Weiss set to go here in the top of 9. Michigan just in damage control mode. Don't want to put any more pressure on their offense to have to produce. You want to get into the bottom half of this inning with the score as it is.
Yeah, now you're getting to the point in the lineup where, guys, Ceruto 2 for 2 today. Lasko had that big home run. It's part of the lineup where Rutgers has made a lot of damage. Can Willie Weiss get through this one? Can he get through it clean?
Weiss's first pitch, a fastball fouled back to the net. Weiss starts in the stretch, doesn't really mess around with the windup.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of closers, a lot of relievers in baseball starting to do that. Not even worrying about the windup. Working through that stretch, stay consistent with it. Try to develop as you go on.
Pitch number 2 just blows it by him. So Ceruto down 0-2 in this count. Weiss in his first 2 pitches looks like he's got it under control.
Yeah, looking real good so far.
The 0-2 to Ceruto. Check swing, and they ring him up. Check swing doesn't matter. Says it's a strike anyway. 3 pitches and 3 strikes for Willie Weiss, and that's going to bring up Lasko.
Short work there for Willie Weiss for that first at-bat. Ceruto got 1 pitch here, got him swinging, got him looking at the last 2 pitches. Really nice job by Willie Weiss to get out of that at-bat unscathed. See what we can do here against Lasko. Best hitter probably on the lineup here for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
First pitch is...
He's got these guys fooling right now.
Yeah, that one a check swing that just rolled off the glove of Mazer and all the way back. But Rutgers, like you said, just kind of guessing at what Weiss is going to throw here. Lasko 1 for 3 on the day with a home run and a walk. The 0-1, again, another check swing, just missing. That's the first ball we've seen him throw in his 5 pitches.
Yeah, just good stuff right now. Seeing a lot of change-ups, a lot of off-speed pitches. Once you start getting comfortable with that, Willie Weiss will just blow it right by you.
Weiss again missing upstairs that time. One thing about Willie Weiss is that he's really quick to his to his stretch, and then delivering to the plate. Doesn't give hitters much time to process or really get ready.
Yeah, really solid pace, really fast pace.
Weiss misses low, bouncing up into the glove of Mazer. Haters count here for Lasko. Scary situation for Michigan. We saw what he can do. We've seen his power, 9 home runs on the season, .303 batting average. 3-1 pitch just rides high in the zone. no harm as Lasko just takes first base for free, and that's going to bring up Scheikoffer. Scheikoffer 0 for 4 on the day with 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you're going up against a really good hitter. Lasko hit a bomb earlier, 2-run shot. 3-1 count. You're fine if you walk him. You're fine if you put him on base. It's better than a guy ripping a double down the line.
Big lead over there at first base from Lasko. He's going to go. The throw down from Mazur. Can he get him in time? The ball gets past Sems, and it's right next to the base. Sems looks like he might be hurt. Slowly gets to his feet.
Elbow maybe? Looks like it's his right hand.
We're going to have a quick timeout. Can't tell. Sems has his back to us. We'll update you as soon as we can.
Curious, nobody going out there and looking at him. Maybe he got cleated or something like that. Not sure what's going on.
Looks like he gave a quick high five to Lasko. Lasko seemed to apologize. I mean, it was a close bang-bang play.
Yeah, maybe it was a cleat or maybe just a tangle up between the hands. Looked like he was a little more hurt at first, but he's all right. Staying out there. Trainer never came out. Keep rolling with baseball. Big steal there by Lasko. Runner in scoring position, 1 out.
Lasko now 4 for 5 on steal attempts on the year. And as you said, runner in scoring position now is Willie Weiss. Throws a ball there. Count 1-1. 1 runner on in scoring position over at second base and 1 out in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, 1-1 count. We're starting to see Willie Weiss. First pitch or first batter had a really good command. Starting to lose it here.
That one. Called strike in the outside corner.
As I say something, absolutely paints the outside corner.
Might want to say something again, Andy,
Let's do it.
Rutgers in attack mode here, trying to give their pitchers a little bit more wiggle room. Over in the on-deck circle is DeGiorgio. The 1-2 from Weiss swung on and missed, and they're going to say it was a drop third strike. He throws it over to first base. Not really much hustle coming out of Scheikoffer in the box. He goes 0 for 5 on the day, really struggling at the plate. But now there's 2 outs. Michigan with potential to get out of a dangerous situation. Lasko made an effort to put himself in scoring position.
Yeah, not a lot of production between the 2, 3, and 4 spot for the Rutgers lineup. Scheikoffer 0 for 5 today. DeGiorgio 0 for 3, and Brito, their cleanup guy, 0 for 4.
Big swing from DeGiorgio on pitch number 1 that's followed backwards into the parking lot.
Yeah, you're getting that production out of Neister, Cerrito, and Laskow for the Scarlet Knights. Middle of the lineup not looking great, but hey, that's the thing with baseball. You gotta find production elsewhere. One guy fails, another guy steps up.
Weiss nods yes to a sign, now goes to the glove. The leg kick, this one just missing a little bit high and maybe a little bit inside as well. Takes a look over at Lasko standing on second base. Everyone playing pretty much straight up. Bertram a little bit towards second base, just trying to keep the runner a little bit honest. That pitch low and in the dirt, but great stop by Mazur, keeping that one in front of him. If Lasko advanced to third base, that could have been disastrous for Michigan.
That's the other pitch that's really, really hard to block for a catcher. Fastballs in the dirt. You never expect a fastball to bounce on you. Breaking balls, you always got to expect it to bounce. It's got that downward action. Fastballs, very, very tough to get down and block it. So, great job there by Mazur.
This one hit hard up the middle, and Bertram playing it really well, throws it over to first base and makes the out. The shift, trying to hold the runner even, pays off for Michigan. That ball got by the glove of Willie Weiss, but he comes in and he does his job. We're headed to the bottom of the 9th. Michigan
Here we go.
Needs 1 to send it to extras, 2 or more to win the score. 3-2 as we head into bottom 9.
Yeah, Willie Weiss, man, it's all he has to do right there is make sure the ball does not get by him. Or sorry.
Bertram.
Yeah, Riley Bertram, excuse me. Riley Bertram, make sure the ball does not get by him. Kind of plays it off to the side a little bit, lets the ball kind of play him, but it's such a tough aspect. When it looks like your pitcher's going to get it, it's kind of easy to slack off a little bit because you think your pitcher's going to get it. Looked like there may have been a little deflection there as well. But Bertram got that smooth glove, man. He's got that experience to make that play. Willie Weiss does a job. Keeps some Wolverines, keeps that deficit to 1. Bottom of the 9th here. See what Michigan can do.
Entering potentially the last inning of this rubber match between the two teams. Michigan took Game 1 of this 3-game series on Friday night, 6-4, and dropped Game 1 yesterday at noon by a score of 2-4 in favor of the Scarlet Knights. Michigan's going to have 6, 7, 8 due up. Flores, Burton, the one bright spot in this lineup today with that 2-run home run to give Michigan their only 2 runs. And Obertop right after that. Bertram will follow in the 9 spot after Obertop and then back to the top of the order if Michigan needs it.
Yeah, if you can get a couple runners on with Jimmy Obertop up, I think Wolverines will be very happy with that situation. He's been your power hitter for a long time. Last 2 years, he's had a good influence with that bat and with that pop. If you can get up get up to the plate with a chance with a couple guys, ducks in the pond, Wolverines will be happy with that.
Obertop 21 RBIs on the season, tied for second on the team. Mazer leads the way with 22, and Tito Flores also tied at 21 with Jimmy Obertop. Speaking of Tito Flores, he's up first, 0 for 3 on the day, but searching for his first hit, trying to keep his team alive here in the bottom of the 9th.
Still got Sinibaldi on the mound here, going out for the 6-out save.
This one chopped towards third base. They're going to say he was in fair territory. Throw over and across, and 1 pitch and 1 out. Sinibaldi really efficient here in the 9th so far.
Again, Tito Flores just loves taking the approach of the first pitch at bat. He likes swinging at that first pitch, especially down 1. I like to see a strike. I like to see if the pitcher can come at you. See if you can, maybe draw a walk, maybe draw a hitter's count. Swing on that first pitch. It takes away your options. Tito grounds out there for a big out.
Ted Burton up to the plate now in his last time up. Hit that 2-run home run into left center as he watches pitch number 1 go by. Just outside ball 1. Burton obviously thinking about that last at-bat, but can't let it sink in. Pitch number 2 goes high. He's going to have a hitter's count on the way. Don't need a home run here. Yeah. Just need runners on base. Just string together a few hits, and you could take home the win.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You take a strike here. Now you're in a situation for Burton. You're 2-0. Pitcher Sinibaldi's got to come 1 at you. If he doesn't, you got a walk situation here.
Sinibaldi does go right at him with the fastball. Hits the outside corner. So the count 2-1. Still a good position for Ted Burton to be in. Jimmy Obertop over there watching from the on-deck circle. The 2-1 looked really low. Ted Burton drops the bat and gives the umpire a look like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was not. I don't know how that looked on TV, but that did not look good from our point of view. That looked really low.
From here, it almost looked like it skipped a little bit.
Yeah, that sure sounded like the catcher's glove at the ground.
2-2 is hit in the gap between second and first base. In great play to get over to it, but Burton reaches safely. Welsh covered a lot of ground there and dove to his left hand to keep it from rolling into the outfield. But Ted Burton tallies his second hit of this one, now 2 for 4, and that's going to bring up Jimmy Obertop. The winning run now steps to the plate.
Yeah, that was a perfect case of good 2-strike hitting right there by Ted Burton. Got a fastball low and away. All he had to do was throw his hands out there, chop at something, put it in the gap. Yeah, second baseman Welch had a good chance there, or did a good job of keeping the ball from going in the outfield, but he had no chance of getting Burton out at first base. Great 2-strike hitting there for Burton, keeping Michigan in this ball game, giving a chance for Jimmy Obertop. Like I said, we can get someone on base for him. Michigan's got a shot.
We've already seen Obertop hit 1 game winner this year. Has potential for another one. Takes a big swing at the first pitch.
Another first pitch approach. We saw Tito do it. Now we got Jimmy swinging out here with first pitch from the at-bat. Didn't necessarily look like the greatest pitch either. We'll see what Jimmy can do here now down 0-1.
Obertop 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts today, looking for his first hit as they throw over to first base, trying to keep Burton close. Sinibaldi, as we said, looking for the save here.
Yeah, 6-out save. You got to love when you can have a reliever that can do that. Sinibaldi, I assume was not the typical closer guy, 6.43 ERA. But you get a guy that can have a 6-out save, man. You're saving a lot of arms.
The 0-1, they're going to appeal it on the check swing. They say he didn't go. Good discipline by Obertop there, laying off the high. So count 1-1. Scoreboard finally turns back on. It's been off since about the 6th inning.
We haven't had the scoreboard or the clock here in a couple innings.
1-1 to Obertop. This one, big swing towards right center field. back to the wall, and is it going to be caught with his back against the wall? Lasko reels it in. That one tailed from the right center gap back straight away. A few more feet to the right, and that one might have been gone.
Wow. Off the bat, I thought it had a chance. Sure enough, back against the wall. Great play there by Lasko. Man, I thought that had a chance there.
So did I. That one
drove that ball
absolutely roped.
Tailing away, so right-handed batter, tailing away to the right side. Absolute shot. Great jump there by Lasko to get back there. Because, again, if that ball gets down, hits off the wall, comes right back towards her second base, with good speed over there with Burton, there's a good chance Burton scores on there. Or at the best case scenario for Rutgers, with second or third one out.
Bertram steps to the plate now, 2 outs. As he swings on the first pitch and fouls it off. Michigan really in desperation mode here. The winning run is at the plate, tying run on first base, but there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th.
Again, another first pitch swing on a pitch that was not fantastic. Low and away fastball. I'm not a big fan of that approach here. You got to wait to look at a strike, or if it's a first pitch, it's got to be one that you absolutely love. That's 3 straight at-bats where you see a first pitch approach on pitches that necessarily aren't great pitches.
Sinibaldi now set to deliver the 0-1. Runner goes. Swing from Bertram. Over towards shortstop to Giorgio. Throws it over to first base and gets the out. That's going to do it. Rutgers takes game 3 of this series, the rubber match, by a score of 3-2.
Do you notice something there with the guys covering second base? That's the first time all game where the second baseman has covered the bag on a right-handed hitter. Every single time it's been the shortstop. It's been the same side middle infield. There's a batter covering the bag. That time it was the second baseman. Of course, the ball was hit right at shortstop. Eric Beck had the right idea with a hit and run, just didn't convert on it. Great game by the Michigan Wolverines and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and you got to look at the performance from Rutgers today. You got to look at the starting pitching of Teller. Brent Teller, absolute dominant game. Went through 7 innings went through 6 2/3, I think, 6 2/3 without a hit. Ted Burton ended up getting that 2-run home run. But you look at the final stat line, 7 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Got himself out of a situation in the first inning, no outs. He did not give up a hit, but had bases loaded, got himself out of that situation. Just was a really, really solid pitcher all day today. And I think that was the difference between, the Michigan getting the win and Rutgers getting the win.
Michigan unable to take advantage of mistakes from Rutgers. Rutgers with 2 defensive errors in the first inning, a 3rd defensive error in the second. After that, they kind of honed it in, but as I said, unable to take advantage of those. So Michigan drops this one to Rutgers. But what a day from Brent Teller on the mound. I mean, we already mentioned it. Sinibaldi doing a great job coming in and getting the save. But that is going to do it. Unless, Andy, you have any final words here today.
Season's still young. You got to work through some things. Tough loss here, a home series. You got to pick up one against an average, middle-tier Big Ten team. But, hey, you don't win championships in early May or late April. You win championships late May, early June. That's when you kind of take titles. So rest of the season, still got a lot to go. Bounce back from this one. Wait till next weekend series.
And that is going to do it for Charlie Brigham and Andy Laidlaw live from Ray Fisher Stadium. It was a good one down to the very end, but we would like to thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan baseball here on YouTube and BTN+. We would like to thank you for listening and leave you like we always do with a good night and a go Blue.